Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our live coverage of the PABCON Adult Championships here on Bold TV. The men's singles about to get underway. You can see Team Mexico, Team USA exchanging pleasantries before we get underway. Six games in the singles event about to get started. Practice is completed, and the first shots for score about to take place. Among those on the featured pairs for the first game, John Jenowitz and Steve Smith for Team USA will be stepping up with us. The women's competition held earlier today has been concluded, and it was Venezuela's Alicia Marcano taking the gold medal. Shannon Plahowski took the silver, and Paola Gomez took the bronze. That may be a little different than what you see standings on the website. They're still trying to get that file updated. There was an inadvertent score put in there, and it is being worked on. Should be updated pretty soon. So we will know our men's singles medalist by the end of the day. Just tuning in, I'm Lucas Wiseman along with Jason Overstreet. Jason, I don't think I told you, but it doesn't appear, I say this shouldn't say that it doesn't appear, that there's a chance they may not do the medal ceremony this evening. I was talking to David Garber, and since we're running behind schedule, they have leagues scheduled to come in. They may do the medal ceremony for the singles at the break tomorrow. So we'll have to see what they decide. Probably will depend on how quickly they bowl. Also have Venezuela and Colombia, neighboring countries, and also neighbors on the lanes here this first game on our live streaming pairs. Had to adjust a couple of our cameras because got a lot of tall players out there with the guys coming in. Had to move some of them up a little bit, especially Steve Smith, the former professional basketball player in Asia and Europe. There's Steve. Starts things off on a high note with a strike. John Jenowitz had an open to kick things off. appreciate it if you would head over to Facebook and Twitter, spread the word, let everybody know you're watching our live coverage here on Bold TV. You can see the Twitter hashtag in the top right corner of your screen. Use that PABCON when you tweet. And send everybody to bowl.com to watch great bowling here from Sunset Station.
Recently inducted Hall of Famer, Amleto Monticelli.
Great bowler.
Our feature pair.
Favorite of the ladies for sure.
Competing for Venezuela.
I believe that my girlfriend may love Amleto more than she loves me. Let's see what Amleto does here in the first frame. He looks like he's using a urethane ball and playing very far right.
Seen him do that throughout his career for more than one occasion.
John Janowitz said that he expected a lot of urethane to be used out there. Here's JJ, not sure what he's throwing. He's shooting a spare right now. So
split and then missed the head pin right. So whatever he's doing, it's
not going well.
Not in the comfort zone quite yet, but it won't take him long to get back on track. So in case you're just joining us and may not know the format here at the PABCON Championships, it is 6 games and total pinfall determines the medals. We had some exciting moments as it was quite close for our women's gold medal. So hopefully we'll have some similar excitement. We have 6 cameras spread across the venue, but there are 70 lanes here, not all in play. So we know that there are lots of you out there that want to see various countries, and you'll have that opportunity as they move in front of the pairs with fixed cameras behind them. So just because you need to be patient, you may want to see them now, but you'll have to wait.
And again, the scores are on bowl.com/PABCON2012. Updated after each game. We do realize that the women's single scores are incorrect that are posted on the website, but they're working on getting that corrected as we speak. I see a lot of people throwing urethane early on here. Dan McClellan's throwing urethane. Some of the Colombians on this short pattern, not a surprise.
Quick look at Marshall Kent, young
youngster
bowler that Coach Rod Ross is wanting to get some experience here on the men's side for Team USA. Marshall, of course, a familiar name to everyone that follows youth bowling. Collegiate Player of the Year as a freshman. He's also part of the Youth World Championship team. He's a former World Point Junior Gold champion as well.
Someone asking in the chat if Jason Belmonte is bowling. Well, I guess I should say what this event is.
Sure.
It is only for American zone countries. So, you know, North America, South America, Central America, those are the countries that are eligible to compete in this. And since Jason is Australian, he is not one of the players that's eligible. It's he would be in the Asian Zone championships, not the American zone, which is essentially what PABCON is.
So this event is a qualifier for the World Championships, which will be held right here in this same center, Sunset Station, next year. So a lot of on the line, prestige for the countries winning medals in zone championships, but also for some the opportunity to be able to participate in the World Championships as well.
So the Costa Ricans down there. Looks like Alejandro Reina, Costa Rica. Oops.
Bowl TV jinx in effect.
Steve Smith, strike spare strike to start.
Got the team of pairing, I should say. This is singles of Tommy Jones and Bill O'Neill just off to the left of Steve Smith and John Janowitz, and then it's Marshall Kent along with Patrick Allen, I believe.
And I think in game 2 we will have Marshall and Patrick in front of us. And Tommy and Bill will be just off to our right. Probably get a couple of looks at them as well. But we will have Team USA for at least the first 2 games today. And after that, they will begin the long trek down to the low end of the bowling center.
Good shot there by Janowitz.
JJ with an open, a spare, and a double to start.
Off to our right is Team Canada. George Lambert. Our colleagues working at USBC. Putting on the jersey to represent home country of Canada. Throwing the ball well there. Great to see George representing here at PABCON. Smith up now. Well, Steve's got a lot of friends and family. And check him out. He bowls. Root him on here. Ball recovered nicely. Really playing far out to the edge. 10-pin had a thought about staying up. Messenger takes it down. Another strike for Mr. Smith. We'll have live coverage here from suburban Las Vegas all week long. This event continues on through Saturday. We have singles, doubles, trios, the team portion, and then the Masters match play, which is always great live streaming. It's the last event of the event, or last event of the week rather.
Bill O'Neill off to a decent start for Team USA. Spare 3-bagger, so he's the reigning PABCON All Events champion on the men's side. Looking to defend his title here this week that he won last year in Guadalajara, Mexico.
And Leto has this shot. Nice line there for Monticelli. Now Janowitz
working on a double.
So after struggling with the first couple of shots, JJ got his line figured.
Take a little bit of time for things to settle in here and get an idea of what the scoring pace is going to be like. Generally, the score is a little higher in the first game than they will for the block. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Someone asking a question in the chat what the lane condition is. It's the short pattern, Stockholm. If you want more information on the WTBA patterns, you can go to world10pinbowling.com, and they've got all those patterns listed. We're using Stockholm and London here this week. I believe 33 and 43 are the lengths on the patterns.
Trip 4 for Steve Smith.
3 in a row for him. Strike spare 3-bagger. So Steve off to a good start here in the first game. And generally the players right now that have urethane look like they're throwing it. Rod Ross is talking to Gilbert Schneiders, who's the tournament director. Not sure what they're talking about, but don't see any issues going on down there of significance. At least not from my vantage point. I think they're just having a little chat. Well, some of the Team USA players are starting to strike. Bill O'Neill's got a 4-bagger. Tommy Jones got 3 in a row, as do John Janowitz and Steve Smith. Marshall Kett, Patrick Allen not bowling too bad either so far.
Look at Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, spare 4-bagger for Billy. Look like a strike right there. Ball reaction looking pretty good for Bill early on.
Team USA looking fairly comfortable here early going.
Great shot by JJ.
Well, I hope you'll go on Facebook, Twitter, and tell everyone about the Bowl TV coverage here from Las Vegas this week. Get more folks paying attention and watching this top-level bowling. And if you haven't done so yet, please like USBC on Facebook. It's a way to find out whenever events are going on. Had this scheduled as a formal event as part of our Facebook page, so that allowed everybody to know when to tune in for live streaming coverage. Just search for USBC on Facebook or click on the Facebook button there at the top of our YouTube channel. I also want to encourage everyone to check out mybowlingvacation.com. Link at the top of the channel there. Tabs are clickable. You can visit mybowlingvacation.com, the USBC sports store right there from the Bowl TV main page. Mybowlingvacation.com has terrific deals on hotel airfare and cars to top bowling tournament cities. Great deals out in Reno. Even if it's not a bowling-related trip, you should check it out. Often find that mybowlingvacation.com can beat the price of other internet providers in terms of travel. Once again, mybowlingvacation.com. Always give it a look before you book.
It's got to catch it. Give it a look before you book. JJ struck again. He's got 5 in a row now. Bill O'Neill striking, Tommy Jones still striking. Things shaping up pretty nicely early on here in game 1 for Team USA. Steve Smith waiting to step up on the approach here in the 7th frame. 119 in the 5th and a spare in the 6th for Superman. It's a good shot. The scores are going to be pretty high this first game, especially right in front of us here. We've got a lot of the top teams right in front of us, the traditional powerhouses of PABCON. Mexico, USA, Colombia, Venezuela, Canada, all right in front of us for this first game.
Neil Stremmel was just over to mention something to me off mic. We had talked about it in watching the women's competition, the expectation that they would have these kind of scores, and it didn't happen. And it looks like the men just may have been a little bit more prompt in breaking this down. Perhaps a little different approach during practice, I don't know, but clearly there's some big scores that are going to be coming right out of the gates, and that was certainly not the case in the first squad of the first game from the women's, which was on the same pattern. I think we only had 24 competitors that were over 200 in game 1, and clearly it's going to be a much higher scoring pace here for the guys.
JJ got it going on right now.
Yeah, if he didn't like his look the first 2 shots, he sure does liked it from here on out.
Yeah, maybe just a couple of bad shots the first couple of frames for JJ. But such a short format with only 6 games, Jason, it's very, very important to get out to a quick start, and a big first game can go a long way toward setting the pace for the rest of the block.
We certainly saw that in the women's side, that one big game can carry into the medals. As long as you don't get into trouble the rest of the way.
Marcelo Swartz, who's off to our right, is bowling a pretty big game as well. He's got a long string of strikes. There's a spare in there somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but he's waiting to get on the approach.
Those of you that follow collegiate bowling may be familiar with Marcelo, key part of the Weber International team.
They had a highlight from one of our live stream events. I think it was in the Hoosier where he made the 2-4-10, and it's gotten quite a few views on our YouTube channel. Check it out. Search for Weber International and Marcelo Swartz, and you'll find it. There's Marcelo. Struck again, it looks like. Bowled really good at the PABCON Champion of the Champions at the Kegel Training Center back in May. That was right here on Bowl TV as well.
Strike for Lambert.
Bill O'Neill continues to strike. Spare 7-bagger for Bill O'Neill. I think scores are going to be high, and I think there's going to be a lot of U.S. players that are right up at the top. But I mean, they're looking around. They are absolutely killing it right now across the house. So many strings of strikes. I mean, if the scoring pace were to continue, it would be astronomical to make the podium, and you could be looking at 1450. The way things are going.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how it continues.
When you think about it, 1450 would be 725 a set, 725, 725, which isn't that, you know, out of the realm of possibility for players of this talent level.
So it puts you in a position where, you know, one bad game and you're sunk. It's almost a couple of bad shots at the wrong part of the game and you can get sunk. Don't carry in, you know, in the 9th or 10th frame.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Deandres Beatty went open the end of a game in front of us here, and she ended up missing a medal by, you know, 70, 80 pins, something like that. Could have been the difference right there. She went from shooting 270 to shooting 210, you know, and that's 2 frames away from a medal, basically. Steve Smith, that's good. He's been real solid on that right lane. And he's going to enter the 10th frame working on 3 in a row with a chance to shoot 259 here in game 1. Unfortunately, 259 might not be in the top 10. The way things are going. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that somebody could shoot 300 this first game. I don't know. It's going to be impossible for us to tell, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's hard to tell if anybody has a string that long going. Bill O'Neill struck in the 9th. He's going to enter the 10th chance to shoot 290. I believe John Janowitz can shoot 268. JJ going to shoot 247 here in the first game. .47 for John Janowitz. Bill O'Neill did not strike first one on the 10th. He left a 7-pin. We talked to him earlier today. He's struggling. Only 116 in the 7th and a strike in the 8th. Marcelo Swartz continues to strike. I think Marcelo can shoot 290.
Steve Smith. Strike.
It's going to be 269 for Bill O'Neill. Steve Smith can shoot 259. Marcelo Swartz, he may be right up there at the top. I think he can get to 290.
Stepping back off for a moment.
Yep.
Someone in the chat remarking that it's odd to have a Team USA event with no Chris Barnes.
It is, yeah. Feels wrong, doesn't it?
Chris will be bowling, and of course the World Singles Championships.
coaches like to kind of spread it out a little bit, try to get everybody a chance to bowl something if they can. So since Chris is bowling that. .269 for O'Neill, 247 for Janowitz, 257 for Marshall Kent. How about the youngster getting off to a good start? Looks like Patrick Allen probably going to shoot 217 if he could double in the 10th. Steve Smith going to shoot 259. Scores through the roof here this first game.
Well, Smith picks a good one to moves it off to the right. 256. As you mentioned, Lucas, big scores.
Marcelo is going to shoot 268. He strikes on the fill. See another 268 down there on the high end. I'm not sure who it is, though. Amleto. Things have not gone well for Amleto this game. He will not shoot a big game. Only 201 is his max score. Steve Smith, 256. So four of the six Team USA players at 247 or better. Tommy Jones 225, Patrick Allen 207. Wrapping up the first game. A lot of big scores out there here in game one.
Someone in the chat asking about whether there's somewhere to purchase Team USA jerseys. You can purchase those through High Five Gear. High Five Gear has a couple of different Team USA jerseys to choose from. So as we're wrapping up the game number one, we'll have scores for you as soon as we can, let you know where things stand. But as we've been detailing, that there'll be a pretty high mark to chase. We'll have to watch and see if the breakdown ends up lowering that total, or if it ends up continuing to
I think things will
stay
cool
high.
off. Things will cool off a little bit. How much? I don't know. I don't know that we'll see quite as many high scores in game 2.
Another way you can show your support for Team USA, you can go to the USBCSportsStore.com. It's a tab there right on the top of our YouTube channel. Various merchandise that show your support for USBC and Team USA bowling program. It's USBCSportsStore.com. And you can click on that just by going to that tab, the clickable tab at the top of the Bowl TV channel. So it looks like most of the action has wrapped up pretty much here at a similar pace in game number 1. Again, we're going to roll 6 here for the men's singles championships. 6 games, total pinfall, no head-to-head.
Yeah, so a good chunk of the scores already completed 1 out of the 6 games. It's a very fast-moving format. Not a lot of margin for error.
Well, we appreciate everybody around the world joining us for this Bowl TV broadcast. You see just by the limited English being spoken in the chat that we've got quite the international audience, and that's great. We love having our friends from around our zone here tuning in. We hope you're enjoying the coverage. Certainly want to thank our friends here at Sunset Station Hotel and Casino for their hospitality hosting this event. This is also going to be home for Team USA trials in January, as well as next year's World Championships and USBC Queens. So if you're a high-level bowler, you need to come and check this place out. Great center, 72 lanes. Fun place to spend some time. Team USA trials. Get away from the cold. Come on out to Las Vegas. Give it a shot. Maybe win some money. Maybe win a spot on Team USA. You can find more information on that by visiting bowl.com.
Jason, I'm going to step out for a moment. I need to go talk to Stephanie and Deandra and let them know that they're on for tomorrow morning. We got the local Fox station going to come out tomorrow morning and do a live report at 8:20 tomorrow morning, and so they are going to be our volunteers to do that live spot tomorrow. I got to make sure they know about it.
Terrific. Glad to have some television coverage here of this event. Well deserved. Lucas wearing many hats here, helping with the live stream, writing the news releases, and also doing media relations with the local media to get exposure for Team USA in the PABCON competition. So we'll let Lucas step away and take a look at what we've got here in front of us on the various featured pairs. Get another look at Marcelo Schwartz from Brazil. And from Team USA, I have Marshall Kent and Patrick Allen. Someone's on the chat looking to see Team Guatemala. We do have Team Guatemala on our front of us this time, so we'll be sure to switch over and give you a chance to see them too. There's Kent. He gets to carry his first shot. Friends from the Dominican Republic also here. We enjoyed welcoming them to the International Training and Research Center in Arlington a couple of years back. Great group, really enjoy having other countries come to the training center and get a chance to experience what it's all about. Patrick Allen. Rob says we need to see Bill O'Neill, as O'Neill and Tommy Jones happen to end up crossing just out of the range of our cameras very easily, but they're just off to the right, so I will do my best to show them a few shots this game. Tommy Jones and Bill O'Neill. We'll watch Bill throw this shot. Can't get the 4-pin out. Question about when we think Canada will be on. They started just to our right and moved to the right, so I would expect they will be coming back in games 5 or 6. Right now we are currently in game 2, so while that may mean having to wait a little bit, could be a benefit that if any of those bowlers are in contention, get to see them at the most exciting part of the day. There's Marshall Kent, second frame. He struck to start things out. And no doubt about it, strike in the second. Patrick or Bill. Looks like O'Neill. back over on the other side of the center. Pick up a few shots from Team Mexico. As we wait for Tommy to go, flip on over and take a look at Marcelo Schwartz. Pin for Jones. I know that many of you are interested in various scores. I can't really see scoring monitors from where I am, so have to be patient, wait for those to be updated on bull.com. Got a guest in the booth who's coming to sit with me as Lucas takes care of some other duties. Neil Strummel, Managing Director, National Governing Body, back in to join the chat. Neil, glad to have you.
Yeah, muchas gracias. Glad to be here.
Well, we've seen quite a scoring pace here to start things off. It's really been just players tearing up the short pattern.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. This morning with the women, you know, they practice on the first pair and scores were not bad. Little lower than I expected, but this is what I expect. You practice on a pair and then you bowl your first game, and usually there's some pretty big strings for some good scores in the first game. So that's what we saw here. And now we'll see who can really adjust and figure out the lanes as quick as possible and put some strings together.
Patrick Allen.
Nice shot there. A couple of spares, now a strike, see if he's got it figured out, and we'll see if he starts putting a string together. That'll be good.
Yeah, you got to figure there's going to be a lot of big numbers, so it'll be interesting to see how it evolves. What do you think is going to happen in terms of the evolution of this pattern as it breaks down?
Yeah, it should stay pretty good for probably a couple of games. So I would say the end of the second game or in the first few frames of the third game, we might see some people switching away from urethane, moving in very slightly, and firing the ball. Speed is going to be key to stay outside and stay in that part of the pattern that gives you the most area, most room for error. So it should be interesting as we move on. The short is always tougher for somebody like Tommy Jones or Leanne Barrett, who just have notably more hand, more revs than the average player. They need to try to tone that down and stay behind it and get it up the lane and not go left to right too much. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Kent started with a couple, and then here he's put it in the pocket, left a 10 pin. That's that's the other part of the short pattern, is just making sure you have the right carry, right angle to consistently carry. So far we've got Janowitz with a spare and a 3-bagger. Steve Smith had a great first game, 256 I think it was, and he's struggling with a couple of splits already, so he needs to get off the nose.
Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of chance to recover the scoring pace like this. That's one thing that you fall off your mark, you better get back quick.
Yep, exactly. That's usually when we see the splits, is right off the bat when switch lanes and you get a topography issue or something. And unfortunately, he got a couple of those, and you got to figure it out faster than that. I don't know if he threw a bad shot or if he thought he figured it out and it just wasn't it. I don't know.
If you're just joining us, we're in game number 2 here of the men's singles at the PABCON Championships. Patrick Allen for Team USA gets the messenger to take out the 7-pin.
It's been a while since I've seen PA throw it that slow. He's that's almost slow hooking it for him, I think. He's changed, I don't know. I was just watching him earlier. He's changed his approach. He used to almost be a human rain delay out there. He'd be checking the lineup of his arm and the ball and the target, back and forth, and look again and double check, and then maybe start to walk. And
he was a little bit more deliberate.
Yeah, he's jumping up there and going, and that had to be a change for him. He had to work at that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that as he goes up, because you're right. He used to be, these competitions, one of the slower players once he gets on the approach. But see how his routine is a little bit different than me.
Yeah, he'd get up there and he'd set the ball, and he'd have to get it all lined up with the boards going straight ahead, and then check the ball and check his forearm and his elbow, and then look at the mark. And then check it all again. So let's see how this goes. He's starting pretty far back too. Gets his hand in the ball. He's already walking. He's going.
Almost, yeah, that's just
it.
very, very different from what we've seen from him in the past.
Totally different. He's had to spend a lot of time working on that. I think he started working on that in camp actually, because that's what a few of the coaches were talking about. So
that's an unusual kind of change for a player to make at this point in his career, because if he's going to make that change, he's not doing that for this event. He's doing that because that's going to be the change.
Yep.
And that's, I don't know, do you know any more about the background of that, or is that something just to kind of talk to the coaching staff and Patrick about?
Yeah, that'd be good to touch base with them, because I was truly unaware of it until I watched him throw a few balls, and the first time I saw it, I'm like, no, I just missed that. Somebody else was in the way, and he must have been up on the approach longer than that. And then I saw it a couple more times, and like, that is a distinct change, and it's almost one end of the spectrum to the other. It's very anal retentive to now a very nonchalant, just get up there and go. And it's got to be really hard mentally for him to do, but he's committed to it, obviously, and so far so good.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting change. Well,
yeah, sometimes the best changes are, you're in a slump, or you're in a funk, or you're not happy with certain aspects of your game, and change your approach, and it makes you refocus on what you're doing, back to the basics. And it's a lot harder to change your steps. Anybody that's gone from 4 to 5 or 5 to 4, or just tried to really change a timing issues can be really tough to work on.
I know that he's had a few kind of nagging injuries as well, and so maybe some of the adjustments might have something to do with looking to make it a little bit less strain on.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, it's thrown me off, I'll tell you, just from switching cameras on the live streaming. There's certain players, you learn the pace of players on the approach. Shannon Pluchowski, as an example, is very, very fast on the approach. Carolyn Doran Ballard is slower, so I'll sort of know to keep an eye out for how much time I've got to switch it over. And in the past, Patrick Allen has been know when he's on the approach that I got plenty of time to switch the cameras over, and he's been going before I even know what's happened now. It's been really different.
Yeah, like I said, he used to be like a human rain delay out there, and now he's looking pretty quick. We got Janowitz down on 59. He's carried another one. He's got, he might have a 290 going, I believe. And Steve Smith still struggling on that pair. It's like 2 more splits than the last couple of frames, so last 3 frames. Hope he can get that ironed out.
We certainly appreciate everybody who's with us on Bowl TV. I'm Jason Overstreet along with Neil Strumble here live from Sunset Station in suburban Las Vegas. We're glad to have you along to show you some of the best bowlers in international competition. PABCON Championships features countries from what's referred to as the American Zone. It is a qualifying event for the World Championships, which will be held here next year, and is a very prestigious event for national teams.
It's been well attended compared to some of the other events we've had within PABCON. We brought out a few teams that we normally don't see that often, and they brought full teams of 6 and 6, 6 men and 6 women. So they're taking it very seriously. They want to qualify for the combined championships next year. Only 8 teams out of this group are going to qualify, in addition to Team USA, who, being the host, gets an automatic bid into the process. Asian zone, I believe, gets 12, and European zone 15, because their zones are bigger than ours. They have more countries, more federations in their zone, so it's all weighted from that standpoint. So we get 9, Asian, European get something like 12 and 15 to get the full 36. This is a great example of what we need to be doing, where we need to be going as far as world championship type event, as well as an Olympic effort. We need as many people to watch here on Bowl TV. We need as many people that can show up and watch in person, and it's it's the middle of a Monday here, but it's not terrible. We have a handful of spectators. When you add in all the other bowlers and the coaches and managers and officials, it doesn't appear too bad, but there's a lot of empty seats, and what we really need to do is start filling these seats to get some serious consideration to get into the Olympics.
Well, I really do like the combined events. I mean, I think it's just, there's something more special about having the men's and the women's teams together. You can really bring then your entire staff for the team.
That's the way it used to be years ago, and it got to the point where there weren't enough centers in the world to host a combined championships. There were just too many teams. And so we went away from it. WTBA decided they would hold separate men's and separate women's world championships. And after doing that, WTBA realized, everybody misses this event, everybody misses everybody bowling together. The athletes themselves prefer it this way. So once every 4 years now, we're going to do it this way, where you have to qualify into the combined championships. So that makes it so smaller centers can host, and that just makes a lot more sense from a WTBA standpoint, because there aren't very many countries in the world that have large bowling centers. You got the U.S., you got Japan, Malaysia, Germany, and you start running out very quickly after that. So it's really difficult to host a true open combined championships, but having qualify into it, we're able to put this event back together, and being greeted with some enthusiasm here and around the world. From an Olympics point of view, you know, we need to get more sponsorship. We need to get more events like this with, you know, media coverage and viewership and people sitting in the seats watching in the bowling center, and that'll start to open the eyes of IOC. We have a lot of countries around the world that seriously participate in bowling, much more so than many other sports that are also trying to get in the Olympics, and we just really need to showcase what we can do and get on that short list and get ourselves into the Olympics, which is going to be a long process.
Well, certainly I think that the combined events have a better potential for mainstream exposure, just to be able to show the magnitude of what we have to offer. I know that even just talking with the staff here at Sunset Station, that casual observers find it remarkable that there are so many countries that bring national teams to compete, and this is only in, you know, a fraction of what we have in the world, just the American zone.
Yeah, we're the smallest zone, and yeah, we have quite a few people here. It's a 72-lane center. We have a couple of empty pairs on each end, but other than that, this place is packed full of teams and, you know, a decent amount of people watching. We need more than just the family and friends and other teammates to be here watching. That's what we need.
Here's a wide look to show you what Neil's talking about as we look down the 70-plus lanes here at Sunset Station, and you can see that we have national teams about as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see them. You keep watching on Bowl TV, but, you know, Guatemala, U.S. Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic, it just goes on and on. Venezuela, Colombia, Chile's not here, Bahamas aren't here. We usually see them, but you know, we've got Brazil and Aruba and some other good countries that we don't see quite as often, so it's excellent to see them back.
Once again, we'll have the results from the PABCON Championships available on bowl.com. There's a link on the front page of the website. Looks like we may have Game 1 results up to be able to share with you momentarily.
Yep, looks like
no, those are...
Yeah, we have men up on the board in front of us. We got to get it on our computer here to get that loaded.
I'm sure the staff is working on having that available momentarily.
Yeah, we actually had. That's probably what Lucas is working on now, because the internet actually was down in part of the building. So we got the results final for the women, and we're trying to get them posted back up on bowl.com, and can't get it loaded, can't get it uploaded there. Should have it shortly. Marshall Kent with a bucket, but he's still got a decent game going. Janowitz had a good string and then a couple of spares there. Bill O'Neill with a couple in a row. BA's got a good string going. He might be at a 269 pace right now. One thing we talked about this morning regarding the Olympic effort, and I get this question kind of a lot. You know, I come from the technical area of USBC and spent several years there at a lot of people feel that one of our problems in getting to the Olympics is technical issues and problems with bowling balls and lane patterns and weight of pins, et cetera, et cetera. And from an IOC standpoint, they don't see that. And the reason they don't see that is because in the world competitions that they are privy to, we take care of that. We have technical delegates at the international competitions, and they go through a series of patterns that WTBA has posted on their website, and they test that, and they put out patterns like we have today. Today's one of the short patterns, and that's part of what the technical delegate does. And so the IOC does not see that there really are any issues. Everything they know and receive show that, you know, the best bowlers win. The competition is good. The play is fair, and that's not even on the top of their mind. What's on the top of their mind is bowling needs, you know, some better sponsors and media coverage. Bowling needs spectators, and you know, high quality world events. And I think we're there with the high quality events. We just need to work on a couple of the other things to get ourselves, you know, onto what's called the short list of sports that get to have a chance to be elected into the Olympics. Summer Olympics, you know, is packed, and they won't put another sport into the Summer Olympics without taking a sport out. For example, most recently we had baseball and softball taken out of the Olympics, and voted in were golf and rugby. That's a whole process, and part of it's political, and part of it's the stuff I was talking about. You know, so golf has the sponsorships and the viewership and the media coverage and the best players in the world playing that sport, and so they were voted in. The other sport that was voted in, rugby, here's more the political portion of it. You know, not that it's not a sport or a great sport, but Jacques Roguet, who's the head of the IOC, he comes from rugby, and you know, of course, he's going to want his sport to have the best chance to get in there, and you know, ultimately it gets voted in as well. So it's a process that requires a lot of time, effort, and money to first get on the short list and then get a chance to be elected in. But first we got to get a sport to come out, and you know, that's really not up to us. They decide whether a sport is doing well or not doing well, and whether they should take it out or not. Like I said, 2 came out, and that's actually pretty rare. Usually there's 1 or none. And so we'll see what happens within the next year. They'll decide if something's going to come out, and then a couple of years after that, they decide what the short list is, and then another year or 2 after that, they vote on what goes into the next Olympics, which that's the slot is available for, which is 2020.
Fill shot there for Marshall Kent, and he shoots 223. Now Patrick Allen has a 250 potential if he 58 in the 250s if he is to strike out.
Yeah, Janowitz had a 248 down there. He had about that same score the first game. So he's got 2 solid games to start with for Team USA. Ouch. So PA leaves a 8-pin after leaving a 9-pin his last time up. Painful back-to-back leaves there.
Yeah, not getting good breaks.
But everybody has to deal with that. And over the course of a tournament, you just hope that it averages out. Bill O'Neill had a 269 the first game, and he's got 4 in a row into the 10th. And there's a good shot at, you know, a solid start as well. TJ's looking at a maximum 247. Nice shot there, got the carry. 247, that's a solid game there.
Across the way, Bill O'Neill finishing up.
It's the 8 count, but this is Phil Ball for 246. So he started at 269, 246. He's got to be right there, if not in the lead. And John Janowitz should be right there as well.
So again, if you're just joining us, this is the conclusion of Game 2. We will bowl 6. This is the singles portion of the PABCON Championships. Singles today, we'll have doubles, trios, team, and masters match play for you throughout the week. We will be live for all of the events here at the PABCON Championships.
TJ throwing his first shot in the 10th for a nice 10-pin. And we've got some carry becomes key.
Here's a look at some scores for you. As you can see, the scoring pace, this is after Game 1, so we've just finished up or are in the process of finishing up Game 2, but we'll give you an idea of how high the scoring pace has been. 220 doesn't get you into the top 20.
Yeah, Naruba with a 283, that is a unique score. Not quite sure how he pulled the 283, but it's not something you see every day. I'm not quite sure.
Almost makes you wonder if that's a typo, but
yeah, I guess that's possible.
Hopefully catch a typo at the top of the scoreboard.
Yep.
So just taking a look at the top 31 that are on the scoreboard thus far. Again, game number 2 wrapping up as we speak.
Tommy Jones looking at a max 226. His final ball, and Phil Ball in the 10th. Gets it, and he gets a 10 to fall that time. So he bowls a 225, 226, so he's pretty consistent, but that might be consistently 20th, unfortunately. It'll start to get a little interesting in the middle of this next game as far as some transition issues, not to mention as we change, the more often we change lanes here, people run into some topography issues or just different conditions issues.
Well, it does look pretty clear it's going to take some monster scores when you look at top 3.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know, you don't want to never get discouraged, but I just feel like if you have one game or 2 that's below the top 30 scoring pace, which now has been, 225 or so?
Yeah, 225 for the top 20. See George Lambert from Canada in 25th with a 223. So, but that'll start to smooth out some of the big scores from game 1. It's tough to keep up to that level, and I tell you, as high as the scores we see are, it's very easy to get a couple of splits, not carry, and voila, you've just shot a $160. That happens all too quickly. So it looks like Curacao and U.S. Virgin Islands, Panama, Guatemala, Uruguay going to be bowling in front of us. Good teams and some guys we don't see as often as we should. It's great to see Curacao bring a full team of men and women here. Same with Aruba. They'll be around. Actually, they probably were here. They'll be around the next game, I think. So it's good to see some of these countries get more involved again.
Absolutely. Virgin Islands and Curacao, as Neil mentioned, in front of us. So we'll take a look at them on our featured pair. Have some competition from Uruguay. So as Team USA kind of moves off to our right, we'll get a chance to see a different sample. Remind everybody that Bowl TV will have extensive collegiate coverage coming up this year. Both NCAA and USBC Tier 1 events. Have a full schedule to announce shortly. You can always find the schedule of live Bowl TV events on the homepage of bowl.com. I would just close out that browser page, Neil. The other way you can find out what's going on in terms of Bowl TV events. Is to subscribe to the Bowl TV channel here on YouTube.
So we got some of the same issues we just discussed in front of us. You know, people move to a new pair of lanes and trying to decide if it's a mystery pair or what's going on. Good shots out of Panama right off the bat. That's good. And
comment in the chat if somebody that's glad that we'll be doing some NCAA events this year. Not a lot, but a few on the schedule. We'll, I think last year we visited the tournament at Vanderbilt, also one at Huntsville, Cat Clash. A couple of years ago, went up to Kutztown for that event. So certainly,
Hoosier Classic again this year.
Hoosier Classic is always on the schedule.
Some intercollegiate team championship events.
Hope to be able to get to the NAIA championship as well. Also the Brunswick Southern Collegiate Classic and a couple of events here in Las Vegas right around the Christmas time that I'd like to feature. Try and show a variety of events, but to get to where we're showing most of the college programs. I feel it's important not only to showcase the USBC events, but also the NCAA events. Really, USBC is supportive of all collegiate bowling. Really love having several of those NCAA schools participating in the USBC Intercollegiate Team Championships. Kind of have a unifying national championship for all the various governing bodies. So keep an eye on the homepage of bowl.com for that schedule. Again, if you're like us on Facebook, check out our Facebook page from time to time. That'll make sure that you're also always in the know about whenever there's an event coming up. This is game number 3. We'll be awaiting score update from game number 2 here at the PABCON Championships. Glad to have everybody with us live from Las Vegas, Sunset Station Strike Zone. I'm Jason Overstreet along with Neil Strummel.
Yeah, some of the delays. I mean, yeah, we're 2 frames into game 3, and it's usually taken 4 or 5 or 6 frames to get the updates, and it's because we have such a large field here, and trying to get them all downloaded. And actually, we have some runners going around checking the scores and then taking them back, and we get them into the system to post. And just the fact that we have such a large center here, it's taking a little longer than I think we're all used to.
Well, we talk about challenges with the sport, and bowling actually faces one that I'm curious how many other sports this applies to, because I see a huge challenge being inconsistent scoring system software in terms of running events in a consistent manner. At least it is in the United States, perhaps to varying degrees overseas, but many other sports wouldn't have that be an issue. I mean, soccer, you don't need a scoring system. You don't necessarily wouldn't in swimming or gymnastics or some other ones, but for us it can be a tricky element of the event management from time to time.
Yeah, you go to one bowling center and they have a completely different scoring system, or what's really frustrating is you go to a bowling center and they say they have the same system, or it is the same system, but it's a different version of the system, or they have one system on top of another. One system runs the scoring, and then they have a different scoring system that does some of the monitors. And I couldn't tell you why. My parents used to own the bowling center. I grew up in bowling, and I don't know why some places do some of the things that they do like that, but somebody obviously decided it was a good idea and got it to work, and that's the way it works for them. But then you come in from the outside, and it's painful to try to get it to work.
Well, and it speaks to just kind of the fan experience. You may not, in most sports, you would come in and have some kind of level of consistency in what you see at the scoreboards in the arena and the way that the score is presented. It may not be all that different, but it is somewhat different. If you're not really a competitive bowler who's familiar with looking at scores and different scoring systems, it can be difficult sometimes to see exactly where different players stand.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Obviously, we can say the same kind of thing for, say diving or gymnastics, where there's an inconsistency in the judging. You have judges give deductions for varieties of reasons, and one of our advantages is, did you knock it down or not? That's all there is to it. It's pure scoring, but we still have, like you said, scoring system that can cause us some problems, and it does make it tough for people to watch sometimes. I've heard all different kinds of scoring solutions, like a strike is 30 and a spare is 20, and that's all there is to it. And an open is whatever the pin count is. That sure would make it easier, but there's a big faction that would not be happy with changing the current scoring system. So it's
I don't think it's a
moot point.
I don't think it's a fundamental change in the way that the sport is scored is the issue. I think it's just that if we're in a position to have a more uniform technology and the way that software systems were integrate into the infrastructure of the bowling centers, but that's not an easy change to make, and obviously there's lots of free market business economic items that are in play, and even if you decided to throw all that aside and make the change today, it would take quite a few years for it to all be in place. So It's just another thing that you might not realize at the surface that can kind of impact the way the events run.
Yep, that's true. And yeah, to try to get a new system in place would be difficult. To require somebody to buy something new when they have something that works and something they like. You're never going to make everybody happy. We always know that, but it's one of those things that would be very difficult to accomplish.
So I know some of you in the chat are mentioning that they're having some concerns about the links to the scores from Bowl.com. I know that the staff is working on getting all that straightened out, so just be patient. And the scores will be there shortly.
Yeah, we have unofficial results that I know are wrong posted up there for the women, and we have the new score sheet to be posted, but that half of the building has lost its internet connection, and that's what Lucas went to go try to help and figure out. But they've got I think they've got more help than they can use, and sometimes that doesn't make it go any quicker. So try to get that up and posted as soon as possible, if not sooner. I think with everybody focused on that, I think we have the same thing with the guys. Here we are, game 3, frame 5 or 6 in some cases, and the monitors actually don't have the scoring for the men up right now, and the latest we have is just through game 1. So I think the focus is to get that fixed and try and get that posted, and then try and get the guys updated on the board.
A request for a score update of the teams from Puerto Rico that we're seeing on our cameras. Even though they're on the featured pair, we have a couple of cameras strung down about 20 lanes from where we are, and that's what we're seeing with the Puerto Rico set up there.
Yeah, so they're on
35 and 36.
And we're sitting in front of 54.
We're behind 54 and 55, so I'm afraid that I can't see any of their scores. I'm just flipping the cameras over there to take a look at them to give you some extra sights of different teams from different parts of the center.
I see lots of X's down there, though. So
Lucas was on the wireless microphone headset, and he may come back and be able to do that later, but right now he's got some other matters he's attending to in terms of helping with the score, so just hang in there. Appreciate your patience. As we've detailed, this is game number 3 of 6 here for the singles championships.
Some new bowlers here that I hadn't seen before. I haven't seen a two-hander. Have you seen a two-hander go through here, Jason?
I don't believe so, which is
that's
unusual, but
that's true.
Perhaps more of a European phenomenon. But
we've had a couple on Team USA as well, and of course they're not here this week. But yeah, it's obviously Asku Palermo from Finland and Jason Belmonte from Australia are the two most well-known, well-versed two-handers. But we've had some through the American zone before, and I'm surprised I don't see any from, say, Uruguay, who's had some before on their team, or El Salvador. But I haven't seen all the teams quite yet.
Look at Panama.
It's Javier on lane 55. It's a nice shot. It's a good line. It's a good place to play. We're seeing some people play a little deeper than, how should I say this, deeper than they should, deeper than you'd expect. a learning process for a lot of teams, a lot of people. Short is a tough pattern if you haven't practiced on it, aren't quite lined up for. Like I said, if you have a higher rev rate, makes it tougher. But you really need to play it out towards the gutters, whether you're right-handed or left-handed. So if you're right-handed, you want to play it, near the right gutter and get your ball to come out of the oil as far away from the pocket as possible without being in the gutter.
Great example right there. That shot from Puerto Rico player. He's just standing by the ball, returning. Throwing it right up the edge. Good shot, left the 10 pin, but it's the way it should be played.
Yeah. The reason is you have, it's a shorter pattern, so there's more lane for the ball to hook. There's more length of the lane where the ball is going to want to hook because it's dry. It's a shorter pattern. And so if your ball comes out of the oil in the middle of the lane, it's not going to keep going to the right. It's going to start hooking as soon as it hits that dry. And so if you're trying to play the middle of the lane, it does not come out of the oil and keep going right. It starts hooking, and so you need to be further away from the pocket to get it to give it a chance to get to the pocket. And a lot of people ball down. You see some urethane balls on short pattern. You see a lot of urethane balls on the short pattern, at least for the first couple of games. And then low-end reactive balls.
Question in the chat to see a Dominican Republic. We actually had virtually all of their bowlers on last game. So sorry you weren't with us earlier. We have the rotation come through, so where we typically get different teams every game. Occasionally we'll get a second look. We'll see how the rotation comes.
Yeah. Craig Woodhouse has his team, lined up pretty well, and I think 4 or 5 of them were sitting pretty well. Looks like maybe we have game 2 results now. We could put up there to show. I think I see 3 of the Dominicans in the top 30. Bill O'Neill, Janowitz up there. Francisco from Puerto Rico is leading 2 huge games. Manuel from Dominican, plus 66 after 2 games. Dan McClellan from Canada in 4th. George Lambert from Canada in 6th. Rolando from the Dominican plus 55. So we've got some very high scores, some good scores, and it's going to be interesting as we continue to move pairs to see how everybody holds up. Yeah, it looks like Craig has 4 of his players in the top 20. He's got them lined up and helping them out, and they're throwing the ball well. As to be expected from them. Andres, nice carry there. Last kick out at the 10 pin. That's carry is going to be key. Hitting the pocket shouldn't be terrible as long as you can get it figured out in the first frame or 2, and then make sure you're driving through the pin solidly, not weakly.
We had a pretty exciting finish to our women's championships. If you missed that earlier, it is available to see on demand, the recorded version, and Matt Lawson will have some edited highlights coming up on Bull TV later today, but it looked like Team USA Shannon Puhalski would be in pretty good shape for the gold medal, and then Alicia Marcano from Venezuela made a nice run the last couple of games, got to where she needed a mark in the 10th frame of the last game to win it. Threw a great shot, actually doubled in the 10th to win the gold, so it was Alicia Marcano taking home the top spot, Shannon Puhalski from Team USA second. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I know it's not official yet, but Paula Gomez, Colombia, third spot. Is that your recollection too?
That's my recollection, yes. It was close to the top, at least top four, and yeah, Alicia needed a good count spare and good count, so she just went ahead and packed the first ball for a strike, and just needed a little bit of count in the next two balls, and she took care of that. So solid performance under pressure, gotta love it.
Alicia and her sister Karen Marcano.
Yeah, she was right next to her sister. That's always good to see those two bowl. They were just at the Tournament of Americas less than a month ago, and it's good to always see them together. They travel together a lot. Very nice young ladies, and have a lot of experience and come through in the clutch quite often. That was another good example. Very good.
It will be interesting to see. Well, certainly on both sides, but Lucas mentioned the parity that we've seen here in the PABCON zone. I think on the women's side, it could be very interesting for getting to the trios and the team events. You've got Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Mexico, all very competitive teams.
Very much so, yes.
Not to mention Canada, shouldn't leave them out. Canada is...
Did you say Dominican?
Dominican Republic.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely.
It's just there's no
predicting it.
A few years ago, in some regards, Team USA was expected to run away with things, and I don't believe that's the case at all anymore.
No.
While perhaps being a favorite and having the advantage of being the host country, the rest of the world has stepped up its game and come into play with top-notch competitors.
Yeah, this morning's just
someone jumps in Uruguay. Don't forget about Uruguay.
This morning was a good example. You know, it's 6 games, and when you have high-quality athletes from all over, and there's so many of them, you know, you can't count anybody out, and you can't assume one country or one person is going to win. It's just takes too much, and when you come in and bowl one squad of 6 games for a gold medal, it's unbelievable, and it's also a lot of pressure. But that's what makes this fun and exciting.
Well, you can't forget what Colombia did at the World Women's Championship just a year ago either. Well, managing to make the Final Four and take home a bronze on the women's side, and I mentioned at the Women's World Championships, and so there is a lot of ability.
Correct.
And now they're starting to translate some of that ability and youthful talent into experience in a lot of these countries, and I think that's when we'll start to see tipping points and more medals coming to some of these other programs.
Yep, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing more youth out of all these athletes here, men and women, and they're learning the game faster They're understanding what it takes to bowl in tough conditions like this. They're making it look easy, but trust me, it's tough, and all too quickly and easily with a couple of splits and some bad carry and a whiff 10 pin here and there. You can bowl a $151 without blinking an eye, and you'll be done. You won't even have a chance at top 50 at that point.
How about the strategy by Coach Rod Ross to bring Marshall Kent as part of the men's team for this event? We talked about development of your team long term. Is Marshall probably the most seasoned competitor that is available on the Team USA roster? Probably not, but it's been mentioned often. You've heard Rod say that it's critical that you have a pipeline for that next group, because the elite bowlers that maybe your number ones right now, in 5 or 10 years, they may be starting to move past their top prime, and you have to have somebody waiting in the wings, and clearly he feels that Marshall can be one of those that is going to be the next leader of Team USA.
Yeah, he's obviously very young, but a great student and a great student of the game, and he's had a great year when you get down to it. He won team trials, so he's going to bowl the AMF World Cup. He dominated at the World Singles in Thailand, and he had already been named to this team at that point.
World Youth Championship.
Yeah, what did I say? I'm sorry.
World Singles.
Yeah, World Youth Championships. And he had already been named to this team at that time, so Rod already knew. And I think it's a good call. We have a few people that easily could be here, but we can't count on the same horses forever, and we've got a good one, and people like Marshall, but AJ Johnson, and these kids are coming up through junior gold. They're bowling the team trials and making, they're going from the junior team to the adult team, and we're seeing that on both the men's side and the women's side, and we're trying to make sure we work with them and give them the best chance, and they'll give us everything they got. We know that.
Well, it's a big issue on the women's side too, in order to keep that next generation coming up, with there no longer being a regular women's tour. We are fortunate in the United States to be bringing up a fantastic class of female bowlers through our collegiate ranks, which continues to grow stronger each year. Then what happens once they get out of college? That is the key for the Team USA program, to keep them at their top level and continuing to grow when they may not have the opportunity to bowl against that same competition on a regular basis as they did in college or did in the days of there being a pro tour.
Yeah, that's exactly the case. We get some of the best bowlers graduating from college, and they go get a job, and it's tough to bowl at that same level once you're off in the workforce, dating, getting married, having kids, what have you. It just makes it difficult to stay on top of your game and competitive, because the competition is what's great in the college ranks, and it's really tough to get that on a consistent basis once you get out of that program. And so we need to focus, and we're trying to focus on that group and capturing them and not losing them, to the regular workforce, and make sure we keep them competitive and help them as much as we can. And like I said, we help them, they'll help us, because they'll give us everything they got too.
Fortunate to have some really talented women, I think, in the younger stages, the earlier parts of their career, and seeing Josie Ernest here as part of this PABCON squad, I think also speaks to that goal, that she's recently out of college and part of the Junior Team USA program, and now staying involved as part of the adult squad, and performed really well. Just missed just outside of the medals at singles.
Yeah.
Here this morning, she had a great Queens. Made the telecast at the USBC Queens, so just.
Yep, another excellent example that, the collegiate ranks are putting out some excellent athletes, and we're getting them at team trials to get them on the team. They've come up through junior gold and the junior programs. Josie's sister is on the junior team, and another excellent athlete that we love to have in the program. And we just need to keep going in this direction. And the other thing we've done this year that will keep us there is we've added a developmental junior team. So we call it the 15U team. So now the junior team has a team below it that's going to just be 2 to 4 athletes, where we're going to try to start developing them so that we can catch them when they're young, when they're early, and get them some of that key coaching and key training that's going to help develop them. Because we see that with the youth, with the junior team, that we get them on the team once or twice, and they can really advance and move on and get better. And so we want to get them even younger. Cameron Doyle is an excellent example of that. There's a kid that's done so much at such a young age, and we wanted him in the junior program a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, and it just couldn't quite happen. And people like him don't come along every day, and so this new junior developmental team will allow us to, grab some of those kids out of the junior gold type program and work with them sooner, hopefully get them excited, get them involved, get them better, and we'll be moving forward even better than we have been in the past. So that's a whole new step and a whole new program. And those 15 and under kids that make that team, they're automatically, at this point, we're definitely sending those kids to the Tournament of Americas. So there's what's called a Junior B division in the Tournament of Americas.
That's part of what the change in the North Point Junior Gold program too. It now has something for 15-year-old kids. That U15 division, which wasn't there before, to really look to engage that younger group. And that's an important part of the long-term plan, is to be able to make sure that we keep kids that are under 16 involved in bowling, and don't lose them to baseball, basketball, or things like that. And how many of the players you see that are top players or Team USA were multi-sport athletes? I know that Shannon O'Keefe's a great example of someone who played other sports. Steve Smith out here today, who was a scholarship athlete and played basketball. And so it's important that we keep bowling on the radar in that regard. We just wrapped up game number 3 here at the PABCON Championships, and now have some of the shift going on as players move on to different pair. We'll have updated scores for you shortly. I'm Jason Overstreet. Neil Stremmel is also along with us here. Lucas Wiseman has been attempting to assist with some of the scoring and is hopefully going to be back with us here, but before too long. If you're just joining us, it is total pinfall for 6 games. It determines the medal. We've had some celebrity sighting in the chat. Linda Barnes saying hello in our YouTube chat, and I believe Chris may be at home watching as well. It's unusual to have a PABCON Championships without Chris and Linda, but glad that they could be a part of it. And our YouTube audience, Linda saying that it's time for a women's tour to come back, and certainly love to be able to find a way to make that happen, see some sponsorship, or at least on some level, whether it's on the same level as it was the previous tour came to a halt, or on a limited basis. We do need to continue to work to have high-level competitive bowling for women.
Totally agree.
No question about that. Question about whether Bill O'Neill was coming around. You may have seen him walking on by. He made the turn from the high side down to the low side. So given the number of teams we have here in the men's competition, I do not expect that we're going to be fortunate enough to see Mr. O'Neill again. I don't know if Team USA folks are going to make it back again. There was a question about Team Canada, and Team Canada will be coming onto the pair, I think, in one more game. Neil, you think that Team USA will make it back to in front of our other platform or cameras?
Yeah, I think that's where they finish, is close to that platform. So we might be able to get a couple or all of them there on on the last game, so hopefully that'll work out.
We'll keep our fingers crossed that happens. So once again, thanks for joining us on Bull TV, live from Las Vegas. And we will have continuing coverage for you here throughout the PABCON championships all the way through until Saturday. Take a look at a wide shot here as we are just awaiting some of the other teams to finish up and get done. Remind everyone to please go to bull.com and click on tournaments to see all the various offerings that we have as far as USBC events go. We'd love to have you visit us in Reno for either the USBC Open Championships or Women's Championships. Great occurrence with both events taking place in the same city, so perhaps husband and wife, or might want to bring your boyfriend or girlfriend out. We'll have side events as well that can appeal to couples. Don't know if you heard, but the National Bowling Stadium in Reno is going to be undergoing a multi-million-dollar renovation. Some of that will be taking place ahead of next year's event. There's going to be a whole new set of practice lanes in the lower part of the stadium. So there'll be a chance to be able to have some coaching, perhaps pick up the VIP membership, which gives you access to a coach to give you a roadmap on how to play the pattern there. So please go to bull.com/tournaments for more information and register a team today. Perhaps the idea of being a part of Team USA is a dream of yours. Your dream can come true at the Team USA trials in January. Take place right here at Sunset Station. Chance to be able to leave the cold, perhaps, of January, come and warm up in Las Vegas. Maybe get lucky, win a spot on Team USA, in addition to trying your luck here at the hotel and casino. If nothing else, you could come and say hi to Lucas Wiseman. Always a thrill. Speaking of which, I know that many of you have missed him. Lucas will be coming back here to visit with us in just a moment. Lucas will be perhaps able to go roam around and give an update on some of the scores. We've got Aruba.
Maybe he can go back behind center desk and see what the scores were from last game.
Steven's working on him. He should have him up pretty quick. He's still working hard over there. It's challenging when you've got this many people bowling to get the scores done quick, and he's doing what he can over there. I know the scores after 2 games are on bull.com. I saw him push that update through when I was over there working with him, so should be good. And they just finished game 3, so probably 6 or so frames. I would think he should have something for us, 6 or 7 frames in. So in the meantime, we'll try to get you some updates. I think that Team USA is way down on the low end, which
correct.
If I try to go down there, the microphone won't work, but I'll try to walk down there with a notepad and scribble down some scores and check back in with you guys.
All right. Yeah, so just starting game 4, we've got Aruba, El Salvador, Uruguay, Costa Rica. Those are some of the teams in front of us. Puerto Rico, Panama still a little bit. And then down in front of our other cameras in the 30s, we have a couple of teams.
Canada?
Canada, yeah, great.
Dominican
Canada
Republic.
and Dominican Republic. So we'll be able to give everybody a good cross-section of teams.
George Lambert there. I know that folks have been eager to see both Canada and Dominican Republic. A lot of fans of those countries in the chat, so we'll try to give you a little bit of variety and let Lucas track down some scoring updates.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
John Janowitz at plus 122. He shot 227 in game 3. Steve Smith plus 45. Bill O'Neill plus 110. Tommy Jones plus 78. Marshall Kent also plus 78. And Patrick Allen at plus 74. That's after 3 games for Team USA, according to the scoreboards.
All right. From a team standpoint, that's a lot of pluses. So that's a good sign.
DJ.
See what Frankie Colon is doing. He was leading after 2 games, I believe, right, guys? I think Frankie was at like 537 or something.
Yep. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, he shot 194, and he's at plus 131. But one of his teammates here from Puerto Rico is at plus 139. Let me find out who that is. Israel Hernandez plus 139 for Puerto Rico. Jason, has my mic cut out at all, or is it my headphones that's been cutting out?
Your headphones. Your mic's been pretty good.
Okay. Because I keep repeating myself because I keep thinking it's dropping out, but it's the headphones, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought that was just me tuning you out, but
If only it were so easy to turn off Lucas in real life.
You guys can be replaced easily. So the scores seem pretty high, Neil. Is it what you've expected on this long pattern? You expect the scores to be this high? Because you see some 740s out there. That seems pretty high.
yeah, this is the short pattern.
Oh, sorry, the short.
And
my bad.
yeah, so this is what I expected. I expected them to be pretty high, especially for the first couple of games, and then there's going to be some transition, and it's hard to tell with some of the teams we have in front of us, but it definitely seems like some players have moved in a little bit deeper and trying to still get the ball to come out of the oil in the same area, but it's just getting harder to get the ball there, and so they're trying to just move slightly deeper.
Based on what I'm seeing, just looking at the scoreboards, I think Puerto Rico's first and second. George Lambert is 9.
Say that again, Lucas. You did just cut out.
George Lambert is plus 109 for Canada.
Plus 109.
Yep.
Okay.
Fidel Marchena of the Dominican is plus 104. So those are some of the top scores down here on this pair.
Yeah, those are some of the top ones across the board, I'm sure.
Willie Javier of the Dominican plus 99.
So I had said earlier that I hadn't seen all the bowlers from El Salvador yet, and we had said we hadn't seen a two-hander, and now I've seen all the bowlers. I think I've seen all the bowlers across the house, but we do have a two-hander here from El Salvador. We'll have to try to put him on here.
Which lane is he on?
I believe it's number 157 right here on 51 and 2.
Quintero.
Well, we heard Lucas say a little bit of something, but I'm afraid he's too far away.
Mario Quintero at plus 104.
All right.
Just trying to point out who's more than 100 over that I see. Apologize if I keep breaking. trying to cover a lot of ground here. Down about 50 lanes from our live stream setup.
Yeah, he's about a half a mile away.
Yeah, pretty
across
much.
The tracks.
I can barely see you guys. I'm so far away.
So here we have Luis from El Salvador, two-hander, and going crossover, struggling on the short pattern with the two hands. Again, high rev rate makes it difficult to control on the short pattern. Really got to stay behind that ball and fire it. And his speed seems a little lower than what you'd see from a lot of two-handers.
Yeah, kind of an example. It's very easy to become enamored with the two-handed style when it matches up on the right shot. The thing that makes those few really elite players different is versatility. You got to be able to still score on all these different types of patterns.
So I believe that's the only two-hander we have at the event.
I haven't seen anybody else.
Yeah.
It's kind of rare, actually.
Yeah, we were saying that earlier,
Yeah.
and kind of surprising, but
was it Bolivia that was raising a crop of two-handers, and we don't see them too much in PABCON competition, I don't think.
That's true, but yeah, a couple of years ago, saw, I don't know if it was 4 or 5. It wasn't 6, but it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, almost a full team.
Yeah.
It was even on 60 Minutes or something, or ESPN somebody did a story on it. I think it might have been ESPN. They went down there and did something on it. And but yeah, we just haven't. Probably funding issue, I would guess. I don't have the money to be able to travel.
Yeah, I think that might have aired on the Ocho.
Oh, it was E60, I think, which is the ESPN news magazine.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
I think they did a thing on two-handed bowling.
I see Veronica Raji here from Chile, but unfortunately we don't see the rest of the team. They didn't make it here this event, but it's always good to see Veronica. Hola.
Neil's talking about you on our live streaming. He said Veronica's here, but he wondered where the rest of the Chilean players are. There's no representation from Chile this year?
No representation this time. Government didn't give the funds, but we are working on that. Next time we will be here.
I hope so.
PABCON. Here, I don't know, but PABCON, yes.
Thanks, Ray. You got to go to the Olympics, didn't you? And for the Chilean delegation, is there any buzz about the sport of bowling getting in the Olympics while you were over in London?
Well, I had a talk with a couple of people, interesting people, IOC people, and, politics, but we are working on that, and I'm sure that we can get in the short list, and there we have to continue working, but we will not stop our efforts. We will continue with them.
Thanks, Veronica. Well, let's check in with Puerto Rico again, and it seems they are probably first and second. Israel Hernandez, spare three-bagger, is at plus 139, and it looks like Frankie Colon has started open strike, so not having a good go of it on the left lane. He's at plus 131 coming into game 4. About 2.5 games to go till we know our medalists. And if I had to guess, I'd say the medal ceremony will probably happen tomorrow because Dave Garber told me they might delay it because they have leagues tonight, so they may not have it this evening. So we'll have to wait and see if they actually do have the medal ceremony this evening. If they do have it, we'll show it to you.
Let's not let IOC know that we're delaying the medal ceremony for league.
We are running a little late.
Yeah,
so.
We've run a little late, and we have a schedule that we've agreed to, and that the casino property has agreed to, and so if we need to do a ceremony, that's fine. We won't stop bowling and pick up bowling again tomorrow, though. So
I'm going to ask Gilbert. I'm tracking Gilbert down. Gilbert Schneider's our tournament director.
That's something that wouldn't happen in 9-pin, because in 9-pin you have a set amount of time. You get your 6 games, but you get 3 hours or whatever it is, and that's it. And if you aren't done, whatever your score is, that's it. You're done. So I think bowling, the speed of bowling would go up if that was our rule, but. There's always extenuating circumstances. We've had a pin come all the way up the ball return on a pair. We've had a couple other minor scoring glitches and a minor breakdown or two, and that's just been the way it is. And it's what you see all over the world. There's typically an issue here or there. You get so many people on all the lanes bowling a unique format, and that's part of what happens, part of what you get. I have to watch our two-hander again. He's up on 52. He's got a couple of marks in a row now. So a couple of spares and a strike going. Luis. He really comes around the side of the ball much, and he gets a double, but it was a Brooklyn. He really comes around the side of the ball much more so than any two-hander I've seen. Not sure that takes full advantage of the speed and rev rate that a two-hander typically generates. We have a couple of pacers out there too, and I like their title. It's up there. It says Bowler Unknown. And actually, this Bowler Unknown right here in front of us is minus 53. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'd take that if I were.
Get dual citizenship and come out here and bowl for somebody.
If Bahamas didn't make it, he could be bowling for the Bahamas maybe.
Okay, so this just in. The medal ceremony will be mañana, tomorrow, between the men's and the women's doubles.
Ah.
So tomorrow afternoon.
That's a good time, actually. That makes sense because there'll be oil in the lanes and we can
exactly
spend that time with the ceremonies. Excellent.
And I would guess we will get to hear the new PABCON anthem tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't heard that, be sure to tune in. Jose Wandique, the president of PABCON, very excited about the new PABCON anthem. You know, they have the Olympic anthem at the Olympics, and this is very similar with some very colorful lyrics.
Yes, in both Spanish and English.
Correct, yeah.
Lucas, I understand you're going to be performing the English version.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You and Jose are going to do a duet.
I think there's a dance that goes with it.
Yeah, well, I'll be singing. Neil will be doing the dance.
Yes, good luck finding me.
Yeah. Well, the medal ceremony is going to be tomorrow, so if you are wanting to see that, be sure to tune in during the break tomorrow. We'll be sure to bring it to you unless Jason gets hungry and decides to head to lunch, which is a possibility. But so probably around 11:30 Pacific time tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern time.
I'm going to have to leave and go practice for my dance. The PABCON two-step.
PABCON bowling, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back to the issues at hand.
I'm down here behind Puerto
Jason.
Rico.
Go track down some scores, Lucas.
I'm right here behind Puerto Rico, and Frankie Colon's got it going now. He's got 3 in a row. Israel Hernandez opened in the 5th, 106 in the 5th frame. So they are just kind of in cruise control, I guess, just hanging around, doing their thing, not really scoring high, but it's still only midway through the game, so a lot of game left here in Game 4.
Going to get a check on Bill O'Neill and Janowitz, as well as Canada and Dominican players, or?
Yeah, actually Marcelo Swartz from Brazil looks like he's taking the lead at 7:45. I don't know if you guys mentioned that. I have an update on the scoreboard. I don't know if you have it, Jason, in your system yet.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet, but it is up on the in-house display here. And Marcelo Swartz of Brazil at 7:45 in the lead. Israel Hernandez in second place at 7:39, and Frankie Colon 7:31 in third place, and fourth place John Janowitz, fifth place Bill O'Neill. So USA fourth and fifth. And we'll try to get an update on some of the USA scores, specifically O'Neill and Janowitz, as well as Marcelo Swartz here in just a moment.
We're getting to the stage where it starts to get interesting. Really start having to get a better feel for who is in the hot contention for those medals. And as we get through Game 4 and into 5 and 6, it starts to take shape again. If you're just joining us, the format here, it's just 6 games and total pinfall, and that's it. The top 3 are your gold, silver, and bronze. There is no match play, step ladder, or anything else. Lucas and I were talking about that. Sorry, Lucas, were you going to jump in?
Yeah, I was just going to say Marcelo shot 278 last game and has at least a 4-bagger right now here in Game 4.
Neil, Lucas and I were talking about this last game, and you're a little bit more in tune with kind of the thinking of the leadership at PABCON. Any thoughts of adding in a head-to-head format at the end of these events to parallel what's done at the World Championships? For those of you who might not know, World Championships, the way it happens is you have these 6 games of bowling, and then the top 4 teams advance to a bracket style where one bowls 4 and the 2 bowls 3, and then the winners for the championships. It would seem to make sense in some level to have our PABCON teams experiencing the same format that they'll be facing in the World Championships.
Yeah, you would think that the PABCON group would want the bowlers here to experience the same thing they'd experience at world competition. That's how you prepare. That's how you become better and more used to this situation. So I know it's been discussed, but obviously we didn't get it involved here, and it'll be at least 2 more years before we have another adult championship. So next year at the World Combined, we'll definitely have that. But the funny thing is, in other areas, the PABCON rules were changed to be similar to the World rules, because a recent change in World 10-pin bowling is the Masters format. The Masters format was you take the top 16 bowlers, in this case men and women, separately, and they would do a bracket, top 16 bracket, and bowl to the Final 4, and then the Final 4 would kind of be a televised final. Well, the World 10-Pin Bowling Association changed that to a round robin, and then the Final 4 bowl kind of a match play. So PABCON went ahead and put in the round robin for the Masters portion, but we still don't have the similarity, for these finals. So it's, I guess, everything else is very similar, but it's just the preference of the delegates who vote. In a world level, there's delegates from all over the world representing, one from every country, and there's a vote on any significant rule changes like that. And same kind of thing at PABCON, and for whatever reason, they've decided that let's just bowl 6 games and we're done. I don't know if it's a timing issue, or they don't want to spend the time to bowl the extra games, or there's really truly some other reason that seems important to them. So I don't know if I really shed any light on that, but that's kind of what happens out in the world.
When would be the next opportunity to potentially adjust that then?
There would be a meeting next year, actually, and I'm not sure if it's on the agenda, but I don't think the agenda's really been put together quite yet.
Can you put it on the agenda, Neil? You're an important figure.
As part of the technical committee for PABCON as well as WTBA, I probably could push it. The thing is, people could say, well, it's not a technical issue, it's a tournament issue, and decide that they don't even address it.
Yeah. Marcel Schwartz is up, and he's continuing to strike. He's getting ready to bowl the 8th frame. I think his max score is 280 this game. And if he shoots 280 and gets to 215 over with 2 to go, look out.
Yeah, he's pushing quite the lead there. So
he just left the 2.8 though.
Oh, way to go, Lucas.
The Wiseman jinx gets him.
I'm sure he blames you.
And actually, he was going at a 290 pace. So he now with the 8 count, if he spares, would shoot 268 if he strikes out. Yep. And John Janowitz down here, 145 in the 7th, a strike in the 8th. His max 235 this game. Steve Smith is stringing a lot of strikes here. Bill O'Neill just opened in the ninth, 2:24 in the ninth frame, and at the 10th. Kind of down here at the range of my microphone. I don't know if it's cutting out or not.
It's not doing too bad. Better than it was before for some reason.
Okay, good.
It does seem like the top 30 on the board here. I don't know if you've been able to put that up or not, but it was along the lines of needing to be, about a 212, 213 average. So that's come down a little bit from what you and I just saw earlier, Jason. So it's starting to stretch out. The top is still kind of hanging up there at some huge scores, but 30th place and on down are, going down. Yeah, 212 for 30th, 31st.
Marcelo did make his spare, so he's got the spare up in the 8th. Still has the potential to bowl a big game. 268 would put him at 113 over, I believe.
Yeah.
With 2 games to go. I'm sorry, 213 over with 2 games to go.
There's George Lambert for Canada, who was in the mix. Throws a nice shot there, Lucas. I don't know if you see what George has going this game.
103 in the 6th, and a strike there in the 7th. He's at 109 over for 3 games.
So not lighting it up this game, but
Bill O'Neill is going to shoot 244, it looks like. He's just got a single pin to shoot on his fill. So after shooting 195 last game, Bill rebounds nicely with the 244. That'll help his medal cause, although he likely will lose ground to Marcelo Swartz, who is the leader. 212 for Marshall Kent. I think Marshall's at about 90 over with that 212. Marcelo is up right now and just struck in the 9th. So that maintains his max score possibility of 268 down here on lane 30.
again, we are looking at the latter portions of game 4. 6 games total.
Yeah, definitely seeing some decent scores out there. So the transition has happened and moved on, and people have settled into where they want to be. And I'm sure they want to be for the duration. I'm not sure they get 2 more games out of it, but ought to be similar scores in Game 5, and Game 6 will be interesting.
If you're just joining us, this is Bowl TV's live coverage of the PABCON Championships from Sunset Station in suburban Las Vegas. I'm Jason Overstreet, along with Neil Strummel and Lucas Wiseman. We're glad to have you with us and hope that you'll make us part of your day for the rest of the week, as Bowl TV provides coverage here of all the events through Saturday.
Yes, can't wait for the team event. That's always the main event of the week. Always action-packed and a lot of fun.
And the crown jewel with the most prestige, the one that all the countries really want to take home, is the team gold. And you can get alerts about when we have new videos on Bowl TV by subscribing to our Bowl TV channel on YouTube. Everybody who's watching there on our YouTube page, there's a subscribe button. So stop, take a moment, push subscribe, and be sure to get updates on what happens with Bowl TV. If you were a subscriber, you knew as soon as the morning portion of the women's competition was available to watch. And it's always good to know. That'll tell you when there's a highlight videos of today's action is done and available. So we have 7,200 plus people who have subscribed thus far to our channel, and we'd love to see that push on up above the 8,000 mark while we're here at the PABCON Championships. There are 500 of you watching now, so if all of you hit subscribe, you could actually make some progress for us. And if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe.
We're getting close to everybody finishing up game 4. Pretty much everybody right in front of us here is finished, but off of the periphery we have several still going from Costa Rica and Puerto Rico, Panama. Lucas is out and about trying to hunt down some scores for the end of this game. See Marcelo trying to finish up.
John Janowitz finished at 235, guys. So a good finish for him. He threw the last last 5, sorry, for 235. Marcelo got the first one on the 10th, so he's going to be in the 260s if he strikes again.
Fan of Team Canada in the chat asking if Dan McClendon and Mark Buffa are here at the competition, and yes, both of them are.
Yes, Dan was up in the standings a few minutes ago.
Yeah, he's at plus 51, and he can shoot 269 this game.
There you go. Excellent.
Marcelo just left a 10 pin on his second shot in the 10th, so he'll be at 257 with a spare. But chances are that's going to gain him a little ground, I would guess. I mean, that's going to put him at more than 200 over with 2 to go.
Yeah, that's he's pulling away. It's going to be tough to catch.
Steve Smith can strike on the fill for 280, and that would put him at 125 over. So a nice game for Steve as he goes 246, 280 to get himself back in the mix.
Yeah, he started off strong with a 256, I believe it was, and then I think it was game 2. He struggled by starting off with a couple of splits, and then that game was tough for him. So he bounced back really well after that. That's good to see.
Yeah, so he's not quite out of the hunt for a medal yet, I wouldn't think. I mean, 125 over with 2 to go. Looks like the leader's probably going to be about 200 over. Not out of the realm of possibility with 2 games left.
Yes, definitely. If he keeps up the pace of the last couple of games and just forgets about the second game he had, which I think was in the 150s or 160s, actually. We have Puerto Rico trying to finish up. He's got some decent scores going.
Israel 221 and Frankie Colon 226 for Puerto Rico. Just got the update from Jerry Edwards. I don't know if you guys mentioned that or not.
Nope.
They've been done for a few minutes, but both of them in the 220s, so that'll keep them in the contention. John Perez from Puerto Rico, he's going to be flirting with 100 over after this game. It's a lot of big scores out there. A lot of folks are going to be in the hunt down the stretch.
I think Perez is 103 over. Is that where he ended up?
103. Yep, 236 that game.
Yep, excellent position. I'm seeing some of the teams moving in front of us here for the next game. We're going to have some Argentinians, Ecuador, Costa Rica. And probably Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it looks like Puerto Rico's moving right, so Israel Hernandez and Frankie Colon will be on 55 and 56, which I think is right in front of Jason, so we should have no problem.
Your fuzzy math has worked out well, so I'm not going to doubt you.
We do our best. It's a lot of numbers, and at this point in the day, after this many games and crunching this many numbers, my brain starts to stop functioning properly, so we'll see if I get a couple more games left out of it.
Okay, so that's what it takes, huh?
Yeah. It's too much math. It makes my head hurt. I think it's the combination of all the math and all the walking. I can do the math if I'm sitting and just looking at the screen, but if you include having to walk and use motor functions at the same time, it gets much more difficult to do.
I notice you're not chewing gums.
No, oh gosh, I probably wouldn't be able to do I would either have to stop walking or stop thinking at that point. It looks like they're ready to start Game 5 already. The Israel Hernandez is up in 56, getting started. As they don't have to wait. There's no whistle, so I guess maybe Neil, maybe you can offer some insight why they did that. There's no whistle, so they used to all stop and then bowl started at the same time. But is it because it's such a big bowling center? Is that maybe why? Or
well, it goes back to one of the things Jason and I were talking about. You know, in the world at the world events, if the scoring system will allow it, they want the players to quietly move and get set up, and if their pair is ready to go, they want them to start. And PABCON has kind of resisted that and hasn't done that, but we're possible to do it here, obviously, and so this is one of the things we pushed for. Yeah,
it seems to help the flow a little bit.
Yeah, it keeps people bowling, so it helps with the spectators, which is something we talked about from an Olympic standpoint. But also, if people are ready to go and they can bowl, there's no reason to sit and wait for everybody to be done, especially if you have a breakdown or what have you. And you're still going to have some people have to wait because of a breakdown, but if the bulk of the people can just start bowling, let's do that. And so PABCON has finally agreed, and as long as the scoring system will allow it, they're going to allow us to move and bowl as soon as we're ready.
So Israel Hernandez plus 160, Frankie Colon plus 157. They both start with a strike here in Game 5.
Yep.
And they're going to be right up there, I think, contenders here these final two games if they can finish strong. This is going to be a big game for them. I think that, let's see, they're on 55, and they do not have to make the turn to the low end, which I think will be an advantage for them. They get to finish on this high end.
Yeah.
It's always good when you don't have to make the turn because the different ends of the house can play differently, and so that may help their cause a little bit.
Meanwhile, we've got Team USA's John Janowitz and Steve Smith back on our featured pairs.
Down on the 30s, they're our remote featured pairs down there.
Yeah. I was thinking they weren't going to get there till Game 6, so my fuzzy math was off by a game. So
the turn got you, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. So that just means they're going to be even closer for Game 6, so we ought to be able to capture.
Well, it means they'll be right between our setup for Game 6. So they'll probably be on like 46, and that is a no man's land as far as our cameras go, unfortunately. But close enough that we can keep an eye on them.
But we have the roving reporter.
That's right.
Lucas Wiseman will get it done.
See, I'm not going to have to go to. Told Jason during the break, I'm not going to have to go to the gym today because I feel like I've been on a treadmill for, all day, walking back and forth.
And start calling you Slim again.
Yeah, I know, flaco. For those in the chat, very flaquito.
Sí.
Yeah, mi español es muy malo.
Sí.
But my Spanish is better than Neil's. Neil knows.
Mi español
At least so we get PABCON, we'll give you a chance to practice.
That's right.
Yes.
Neil's favorite Spanish word is cerveza.
Sí. Muy más cerveza, por favor. Who doesn't know that saying?
I think
everybody knows that.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
I hope so, because otherwise I just look like a drunk now.
No comment.
All right, Jason normally at this point would say, on that note.
Yeah, Jason usually says, get back to business now.
I think he's done. He's fallen asleep.
Well, we were here at 6:30 this morning getting set up, so.
And I know he flew in probably, late last night.
Yep.
So.
Got delayed in Dallas, just like you did.
Yeah.
Yes, but remember, I have 2 children under 2.5. That was actually the best night's sleep I've had in quite a while. So.
Uninterrupted. Excellent.
Yeah, these trips actually count as a vacation, I think, for Jason.
Yeah, be careful. Don't want his wife to hear that.
That's right. Both of the Puerto Ricans have started with a double now, so they are continuing to do well. And
Yeah,
actually, you can tell how lined up they are because Jerry Edwards isn't even standing behind them anymore. So her work must be done. She's like, they're so lined up that all I can do is hurt them, so I'm going to walk away.
That's true sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes if they're in the zone, you just let them do their thing, right?
Yep.
Wait for them to get into some trouble. If they get in trouble, come back and help them out. But striking that much, there's not much work that needs to be done from a coaching perspective. So Puerto Rico at plus 160 and plus 157.
Yeah, where did Marcelo end up?
That's where I'm headed right now. He's all the way down. I'm going to lose my microphone signal by the time I get down there, but Marcelo was about 200 over, I believe.
Yeah, he's moving that way. He might be close to in front of us for the last game.
He'll be probably in the 60s for the last game.
Yeah.
Be in the neighborhood. John Janowitz plus 157. Steve Smith plus 125. Bill O'Neill plus 154. Tommy Jones plus 84. Marshall Kent plus 90. Patrick Allen plus 58. Did you guys hear me say Bill O'Neill plus 154?
Yes.
Okay. Lost my headphones for a second. I'll get back to you in a second when I get Marcelo's score.
So a couple of Americans and a couple of Puerto Ricans are plus 150 and above, and I'm sure Marcelo is well above that mark. So after this game, it might be just a bowling for bronze and silver.
Marcelo plus 202.
He's got a good 40, 50 pins on the next group behind him, and still 2 games. That's definitely doable. So we shall see how this game goes. This will be a key game, as you said earlier.
Well, neither of the bowlers from Puerto Rico have missed.
Marcelo started with a strike.
Yeah, I expect scores to be high this game after that last game. It should be able to stay settled for a while here.
Over to Steve Smith.
Yeah, he's moved in a little bit. Nice shot though. He's still getting it out to that same break point, which is the key. You can't move it all in. You got to find that line of oil, get that little bit of hold to the left, but you still got to get that same break point.
So just to recap what I'm seeing out here, Swartz at plus 202 for Brazil, Hernandez plus 160, John Janowitz and Frankie Colon plus 157, and Bill O'Neill plus 154. Haven't seen anybody else really close to the 150 mark. I'm still walking the center here, though. Some of the Canadians might be close. Well, I see a minus 192. I thought it was a plus 192 at first. I see a plus 110. There's a name on it, though. But that's still almost 100 pins back in the lead.
Yep. Yeah, with a couple of games, a lot can still happen. But, yeah, I think we definitely have the ones to watch here, and it's going to be a good finish. And if somebody can catch Marcelo at this point, that would be quite a task.
Hernandez, their 4th frame shot, ends his string.
I got one here. Andre Force at plus 129 for Mexico.
Okay.
So that would be the next highest that I see after 154. And I just walked the whole center. So, oh wait, hang on. Just found a 135, one of the Colombian bowlers.
Oh, Janowitz just stone 8.
Thank you very much. Ball will be right back.
We are in game number 5, the beginning portion of game number 5 of 6.
And it's Jaime Gonzalez from Colombia plus 135. He's down here on 67. And he'll be making the turn after. Actually, he'll be moving left, so he'll be on 57 for the last game.
Yeah, so he just made the turn. This will be a tough tough game for him right now, I bet.
Yeah, strike, spare, open for him so far this game.
There you go.
Once again, we reiterate the format. It is 6 games, total pinfall, so...
And
use all your marbles.
We also reiterate that Lucas walking around with a microphone and a headset does not constitute official scores. So just in case I'm wrong, I'll put that caveat out there. That
it's challenging when that's a good point, because we had that trouble with the women's championship earlier in the day. Excitement for Puerto Rico.
Yep, so we got the front 4.
I just got a message from Rachel Giddings, one of the Junior Team USA members. She says that I sound so cheery. Well, I'm kind of down here in the settee area, so I'm trying to be kind of subdued. I don't want to distract the bowlers at all because I'm not too far from most of them, and they can generally hear what I'm saying. So I don't want to be standing behind Bill O'Neill and say, "Oh, Bill O'Neill needs this to," and he doesn't want to know, and all of a sudden I'm getting evil eyes from people. So.
Because earlier Lucas was doing cartwheels and he got some dirty looks because he was down on the approach.
I actually can do a cartwheel. Thank you very much.
Yes, so could John Belushi, so I guess that makes sense.
You've worn out your welcome, Stremmel.
Okay, that's what I was trying to accomplish.
I figured. If you need to go, you can, but we enjoy having you up there for sure.
Appreciate everyone being with us. I'm Jason Overstreet. The other 2 characters are Neil Stremmel and Lucas Wiseman.
Performing nightly in Vegas.
I'll be here all the week. All right, yes, I'm going to go check on the back and see how things are going, make sure I'm not missing anything and things are going smooth. So thank you very much. Hasta luego.
Thank you, Neil.
Mucha suerte.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Neil Stremmel, USBC's Managing Director of National Governing Body, who is sitting in with us for a while.
Always nice to have somebody to help out with the talking. It gives us an opportunity to spread ourselves out a little more and get more scores, Jason.
Well, and for those of you who don't know much about Neil, who was just on with us, he is very involved in the administration, the world level, and so he's really a great resource of knowledge for what's happening in the sport worldwide. So we'll turn our attention now, though, to the competition, as we only have about a game and a half to go.
Yeah, Frankie Colon is the one to watch right now, Jason.
He is. He's
got the front 4.
In the hunt for a medal and the hunt to make some more progress to catch the leaders.
Yeah, he's at plus 157. That's about 45 pins off the lead, and Frankie's got the front 4, and here he is in the 5th. He's throwing a urethane ball right up about 7. And it goes high flush and strikes. So front 5 for Colon.
I thought that might have been a little left off his hand. It may have just had a bad angle, but it was high flush and looked great going through the pin deck.
Yeah, I don't know where he is looking to play, but that was about 7 or 8 at the arrows. He may be trying to play a little right of that. Not sure, but try to look at his next shot. I'll tell you for sure.
There's Janowitz.
John's right there in the mix, too, at plus 157 coming into this game.
Can't get the 10 pin out.
Israel Hernandez from Puerto Rico at plus 160, I believe, unofficially in second. after 4 games. Pretty sure that's right based on walking across the entire bowling center. And Hernandez playing very far right as well. Also using a urethane ball, and he's playing about up 3 on that shot, and that was too far right, so he misses the head pin, leaves the 1-2. He's probably looking to play about 5, 6, 7 area, and that was about 3 at the arrows, and it never got to the head pin. John Janowitz open, strike, spare, spare for JJ this game. Steve Smith double spare. Bill O'Neill double spare double for Billy O. Tommy Jones front 5. So Team USA update. Try to head down and get an update on Marcelo. I see a string of strikes. I would guess that's him. Yeah, Marcelo with the front 4 this game. Marcelo front 4.
So Schwartz not yielding any ground.
He keeps that pace up. He won't have to worry too much in the last game. He's already ahead of the field by about 40 pins. Or sorry, yeah, about 40 pins or so, and starting with the front 4.
So Colon did yank that one left, and he knew it right off his hand, so that ends his streak after front 5. Wasn't too happy with his slide.
About a game and a half to go here in the men's singles event at the PABCON Adult Championships.
Oh boy.
Did he flag it? Mismakeable, is that what I'm hearing for Frankie Colon? Yep. Or was it from Israel Hernandez?
From Colon.
Colon. It's not a good time to do that. 6th frame open, 145 in the 6th for Colon.
Janowitz with a split.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
He's not been throwing strikes this game. Now, Lucas, you said that O'Neill is off to, is it O'Neill or Jones? Is Jones off to a hot start this game?
Yeah, Jones has the front 5. Billy O was going pretty good as well, though.
How far out is Tommy? Can a big game get him back in the mix? Or is he...
I think he was like plus 84. So certainly if he shot 300, he'd go to plus 184. He'd be right there. But he certainly would have a hard time catching Marcelo for sure, because there's 120 back and Marcelo with the front 4 this game.
An open frame for Janowitz.
I think JJ's in some trouble now. He's another open frame for him, and just having a bad spot for a bad game. Hernandez got 8 in the 7th. So after a quick start, the Puerto Ricans have slowed down a bit here, cooled off in the back half of game 5.
Smith almost leaves a 7-10. The 7 goes late. And now a washout for Cologne.
Jason, I believe that the standings on our laptop have been updated after 4 games. I don't know if you want to try to catch that. Should cycle through here in a second. Yeah, that looks accurate. It has Jaime Gonzalez of Colombia at 9:36. I thought he was at 9:35. And as we know, 1 pin can make a big difference. So I'm going to walk down and verify that.
Cologne just opened again off camera. Jonathan in the chat wants a Venezuela update. I don't have any more information than you have, but here is Richard Leon bowling with Amleto. At least show you a couple of shots. That scroller that you saw is about what I have access to here, other than what Lucas can find walking around trying to estimate who's at the top. Again, we'll have full scores on bowl.com shortly. See what the Hall of Famer has here.
Jason, you got me?
I do.
Yep, lost my batteries. Had to rejuice the microphone here. Gonzalez from Colombia just left a split for an open in the 8th. He's at 152 in the 8th frame. He was at plus 135 before that, so he may fall off the pace a little bit here. It sounds like from what you were saying just before I had to make a battery change there that Cologne opened again. Is that right?
You're correct. He had opens in the 6th and 7th. So did strike in the 8th, but certainly lost some momentum.
He can still shoot 244. Looks like Israel Hernandez can still shoot 236 this game. So that would not be a disaster game, but certainly way lower than it could have been had he got a couple open or not had a couple opens there. I'm going to get down there and see what's going on with Team USA and Marcelo Swartz of Brazil again here.
We are progressing towards the end of game number 5 here of the men's singles event of the PABCON Championships.
And it never fails, they're all separated and not next to each other. Tommy Jones has the front 6 right now. Bill O'Neill 146 in the 6th frame, the spare in the 7th. John Janowitz 75 in the 5th, working on a double, so things not going well for JJ. Steve Smith, 109 in the 5th, a strike in the 6th. He can still max out at 259 this game. Going to head down towards Marcelo Swartz next. And Marcelo Swartz has not missed yet. He's got the front 6. So things are looking very good for Marcelo. And if he bowls 260, 270 this game, it's going to be real tough to beat in that final game.
He's going to build himself a sizable lead. It looks like, I mean, clearly if he continues to string them together, he's going to just put more distance between himself and the field.
Just came up light, left a 2-5. That'll end the string for Marcelo Swartz. But still, he get halfway through the game without missing. That's pretty good. Had the front 6, now looking at a spare.
Steve Smith looking kind of frustrated after that last shot. I have a feeling that he's close and just not quite where he needs to be.
Tommy Jones front 7. That keeps up. We might have to move a camera to get a look at it. He's down here in the range of our cameras on the at the remote terminal, I guess you would say, of Bowl TV. It's just not looking like anybody's going to catch Marcelo Swartz at this stage. Jason, what's the update on our Puerto Rican friends?
Well, Hernandez struck in the 9th. Colon spare in the 9th. So
230, 220 for those two, Max?
Correct.
In that range, I guess?
Yes. Hernandez now up 10th frame. As we mentioned, strike working, can shoot in the 230s if he strikes out. Playing way outside, and the ball does not come back. Comes up light, needs a split, makeable, but things can turn south in a hurry if he doesn't pick this one up.
Tommy's up with the front 7 right now. I'll let you know if he gets another one. Yep, got it. Front 8, TJ. He was plus 84 coming into this game. If he did shoot 300, it'd get him to plus 184, which would certainly put him in contention for a medal going into the last game.
Hernandez right on the spare. So he's in the 2 teens now with Phil shot pending. Over to Steve Smith.
By the way, Marcelo missed the spare, 176 in the 7th, but he struck in the 8th. So he missed the 2-5 in the 7th. Never a good time to miss makeable spares. Jason, are you on the pair right now with JJ and Steve Smith?
I can be.
Do not.
Okay. I'll move away.
Yeah. I'm going to adjust
it's going to move.
I'm going to adjust it over a little bit so we can get the Tommy Jones 9th frame.
We'll come over and take a look at Colon's 10th frame. Puerto Rico.
Okay, you should be set with that camera for Tommy when he's up. Bill O'Neill's about to go up.
Good looking shot there.
And I just nudged the other camera back so you have JJ and Steve Smith as well.
All right, thank you, Lucas. As
no problem.
Promised, there is Bill O'Neill.
Playing way right with a non-reactive ball. He strikes in the 9th and puts him at 185 in the 8th. A strike in the 9th, he can max out at 245 this game. That would get him to plus 199.
Back to the second shot in the 10th for Colon. Too far right. This is the head pin. So he will be in the 2 teens as well.
Tommy Jones about to be up. You got Tommy, Jason?
I do.
Front 8. This is the 9th frame. If Tommy wants to medal, he really almost has to close this thing out with 300 and bowl a big last game. That is perfect right there.
Good looking shot.
Front 9. Good stuff out of TJ. Does he have 3 more left in him? That's the question. Marshall Kent, 214. Patrick Allen's going to shoot 238 if he strikes on the fill. John Janowitz is entering the 10th frame on a 4-bagger, can shoot 225. Steve Smith can still max out at 239 this game.
You see what Marcelo's been doing since your last update?
Well, he had the front 6, he missed a spare, and then he struck. And I think he's just now coming up in the next frame. 9th frame, I believe. Try to get you his final tally for this game as soon as he finishes up, or after TJ polishes off a potential big game here.
Bill O'Neill now left side of your screen.
Big 10th frame here for Billy O. He needs to punch out, get in the 240s. Oh, look at the messenger come across and take out the 10. I thought that might be a 7-10 for a moment. But Billy gets the first one in the 10th. That's a big one. And that'll put him at least in the 230s with a chance to get in the 240s here. And he really needs it. I mean, I don't know that he's going to catch Marcelo, but this may help him jump ahead of both of the Puerto Ricans. Do we know what they shot, Jason?
Both shot 213.
They both shot 213, so without a doubt now, Bill O'Neill will move ahead of both of them, and John Janowitz has an opportunity to move ahead of them as well, because JJ can shoot 225. Second shot in the 10th here for Bill O'Neill. It's good. Oh, ring 10, brutal. Absolutely brutal ring 10 for Bill O'Neill. That'll put him at 234 with the spare and a 188 over. You can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but let me see if I can give you a look. Tom and Bill are chatting down there. It looks like it could be that Tommy's getting the read from Bill on what happened on that one and what Tommy may need to do here in the 10th frame, because it's a very important 10th frame for Tommy Jones, because he's only at plus 84 coming into this game.
You know, it's kind of only see so much here looking at it on camera, Lucas, but to me it didn't look like there was any problem with the way that O'Neill's ball reacted on either of those shots.
Yeah, they looked pretty good. But that's good, though. That's a good sign to see Tommy and Bill talking like that, because communication's so important. And, you know, Billy's trying to help his teammate. And so Tommy trying to close it out. It's the last frame on this lane. JJ just struck for a shot in the 10th for 5 in a row. That'll put him in the 2 teens, a chance to get in the 220s, and could potentially have it be Brazil, USA going into the last game if Tommy Jones strikes out for.
You could even slide that camera a little bit, tighten it up to just see Tommy's lane if you want to, Lucas.
There he is. Tommy Jones, front 9. Tie, big 4.
Oh.
Medal hopes just got tossed out the window along with the 300 game possibilities. I think he's going to have a real tough time medaling now. I think he knows it. That was a big shot there for Tommy Jones. A big non-strike for him.
What do you think? You're behind there. You think it's just a miss or something a little different than what he expected?
He doesn't look like he threw it bad. It looks like he was kind of surprised that it hooked that much. I'm not sure what happened. He's at 262 this game, and that'll put him at about plus 146. So he's going to be in the neighborhood, but not quite in the hunt, I wouldn't say. I mean, he's going to be close. But O'Neill is at plus 188. So he's at least 40 pins, about 40 pins behind O'Neill. And of course, he'll be probably 100 pins back of first. I'm going to try to get a final score from Marcelo Swartz. He should be wrapping up here. Marcelo had a spare in the ninth. He can strike out for 246. And he's got the first one in the 10th already.
So Schwartz is going to end up taking a fairly sizable lead into the final game.
Well, it's not going to, I mean, it's not going to be as big as it could have been had he struck out and shot 266 this game. But he's still going to have a pretty decent lead. If he strikes out, he'll be at plus 248, which would be about a 60-pin lead or so on Bill O'Neill.
That's a pretty big lead.
Yep, with one game to go. He just struck second one in the 10th. So that will put Marcelo at 246 with a strike on the fill at plus 248 for the tournament with one game left. And certainly seems as though he will be about 60 pins ahead of second going into the last game. And barring a collapse of, epic proportions, I think that Marcelo is in great shape. Although, and keep this in mind, Jason, Marcelo has to make the turn. And we have seen how that has affected some of the players. He's got to go from, where's he at, 19 and 20 here, all the way down to the high end of the bowling center. And we have seen that numerous times where people have made that turn, and they've been a little confused. But Marcelo is a very, very good player who has a lot of experience. And I don't know if it'll be as much of an issue for him, but we'll have to wait and see.
Marcelo has a lot of international experience and has a lot of accomplishments. Lucas, I mean, you don't know how well you know off the top of your head how big would winning gold here at this event in the singles be for him?
I think it would be one of his top accomplishments in his young career, and it would be a monumental win for the country of Brazil and their bowling federation. It would be a big, big win for them. And Marcelo gets 9 on the fill for 245. He is now at plus 247. 247 over for Marcelo Swartz.
So it'll be exciting to see Marcelo Swartz, a player well known in the collegiate ranks in the United States, here competing for his home country, Brazil. In position, it would appear, to take home the gold, but he needs a strong finish in Game 6. Still another game to go. We'll see if he is able to deliver. Take a look as things are getting started in front of us. Canada's Mark Buffa. Along with Dan McClelland. Excuse me, McClellan.
It's all right.
Thank you.
Your brain's turned to mush like mine.
I know. Don't even know the names of the people that I know anymore.
For Team USA, Bill O'Neill plus 188, John Janowitz plus 171, Tommy Jones plus 146. Those were some scores I was able to jot down real quick. Marshall Kent plus 104, Patrick Allen plus 95, and Steve Smith plus 164. So Steve Smith also kind of in the hunt. So a lot of, you got 4 guys for Team USA kind of bunched up there between plus 146 and 188. Andre Force from Mexico plus 143. And he's on one of our featured pairs, Jason, lane 51, I believe.
Who is that again we're looking for, Lucas?
Andre Force. He's bowler number 1 on lane 51.
All right.
At plus 143. I kind of almost assume at this point that Marcelo will win the gold, pending anything crazy happening. John Sebastian Lazard from Canada at plus 158. Shot 278 last game. Another example of one of those players who can shoot a big game, get in the mix, kind of under the radar, just like Alicia Marcano did. Trying to keep an eye on as many people as we can here that are in the mix for a medal. Best we can.
Said I know there are a lot of folks wanting to know what's happening with Team USA, and Team USA players are kind of right in between our cameras to where it's.
Marcelo Swartz made the move from lane, looks like lane 20 down to lane 63. And he has yet to throw his first shot. 63 just outside of the range of our cameras. Jason may be able to occasionally catch a glimpse of Marcelo, but definitely not on our featured pairs for this last game.
You know, we have kind of an angled shot, but we'll try and keep an eye on him. Marcelo Swartz. Looks like he did not strike on that shot, but I believe it's just a single pin leave.
So based on what I know now, Jason, I've got Marcelo Swartz in first at plus 247, Bill O'Neill in second at plus 188, and looks like John Janowitz in third at plus 171, although I need to get an update on the two Puerto Rican players, although I think they made the turn to the low end, but I believe that they're right about 170 or so over. I think both of them were pretty close to each other. And yeah, they did make the turn to the...
Actually, I think they're...
No, wait.
They're not. They're on the 60... They're still on the far high end.
Yep, they are. They're right here. 173 and 170. So Israel Hernandez actually is in second, 2 pins ahead of Janowitz.
So run it down again. Swartz in first.
Yeah, Swartz is first at plus 247. Bill O'Neill second at plus 188. John Janowitz at plus 171. I'm sorry, Israel Hernandez plus 173. John Janowitz plus 171. And Frankie Colon plus 170. Unofficial, of course, that's just me walking the settee area and looking at scoreboards. And that's totally unofficial.
So Marcelo Swartz in a very good position.
Yeah, feeling pretty confident that he is in the lead. He has been in that position for a while. He started with a spare this game. He's up right now in the second frame. And rings a 10-pin. He doesn't have to press too hard here this game with a lead of 59 pins, but he certainly needs to make his spares. Can't afford to miss any makeable spares like he did last game, and just kind of keep putting the pressure on himself here to bowl well this final game. He doesn't want to give anything back. He doesn't want to give Bill O'Neill or any of the guys behind him a reason to feel like they can beat him, and that's more important for the Puerto Rican players who are right behind him because they're bowling right next to him, and so he will be able to keep an eye on those guys while he bowls, and they'll keep an eye on him. Bill O'Neill a little bit further away, and you might be able to hear the Puerto Ricans. They have a large cheering section, and that may get into Marcelo's head as well. Well, he can't let it. But he's used to college bowling where they're yelling all the time. So
yeah, I don't think he's going to be fazed
bother
by
him
that.
too much.
Just with the field this talented, it's quite possible that any of those bowlers within striking distance could put up a big game. But, really, Marcelo just needs to put up an average game by his standards to essentially close it out.
Well, yeah, think about it. If he shoots 230, that would be just about enough. Technically he needs 242 for the shutout, because that would put him at plus 289, and Bill O'Neill, even if he shot 300, can only get to 288. So
exactly.
If I'm Marcelo, I'm looking at 242 as my score here.
He's in great position as long as he just doesn't hurt himself.
And Bill O'Neill has gone spare strike.
So that makes the road a little bit more gentle for Schwartz.
Yeah, Bill O'Neill, spare strike. He's getting ready to bowl here in the fifth, looking for a double, and went high and left a 4-6-10. Tommy Jones, double spare strike. John Janowitz, front three. So O'Neill is coming back toward the field a little bit in the race for the silver. And that's nothing but good news for Marcelo Schwartz.
So with Janowitz with the front three is off to the hottest start of those that are chasing Schwartz. What was the spread between Janowitz and Schwartz again?
It is 76 pins. That's an awful lot of ground to make up. Jason, I'll be back in just a moment.
Janowitz just struck again. And it looks like Schwartz just threw a strike.
Again, the medal ceremony will be held tomorrow. They will not have it today. It's going to be coming up at during the break tomorrow, during the competition break tomorrow.
Now Lucas Force from Mexico has front four.
And he was at plus 143. So that may get him in the mix for the silver if he were to finish strong. Not much hope to get into. Marcelo, by the way, I think I heard you say he struck. He actually, let's see, where is he? Yep, you're right. He did. Spare strike for Marcelo. He's down here on 63 and 64.
So if you're just joining us, this is Game 6, the final game of the singles competition here at the PABCON Championships, and we will know in about 6 frames who will take home the gold, silver, and the bronze. Marcelo Schwartz of Brazil, unofficially, but just by our Bull TV tallies, is leading the competition and in position to take the gold.
Marcelo is getting ready to step up on the approach. As for Team Puerto Rico, Hernandez just opened in the 4th. Frankie Colon double 9 spare. Schwartz just left a weak 10 here in the 4th frame. So we talked about that transition and that move from the low end to the high end, and it seems to be taking its toll a little bit here on Marcelo in this final game.
Force now stepping up for Mexico. He's got front 4.
Looks good. Yep, snap the 10 out for a strike. Front 5 for Andre.
Now, I saw Janowitz strike recently, but I don't know if there was a shot between that or not.
He's got the front 5. Bill O'Neill had the open in the 5th. 88 in the 5th frame for Bill O'Neill is max after a spare in the 6th. There's only 228, and boy, the way things are going, that might not be enough to medal. Tommy Jones, double spare, double, just left a 10 pin.
Force and Janowitz are really looking locked in.
They're staking their claim to the silver, that's for sure. I don't know that they're going to catch Marcelo. I mean, it's possible that Janowitz could get there. Janowitz, if he struck out shot 300, would shoot plus 281. And that would mean that Schwartz would have to shoot 225.
Schwartz has yet to double through, what, 5 frames?
Yeah. So it's not out of the realm of possibility here. You know, if Marcelo doesn't start striking a little bit, he could potentially have this thing end up a little closer in the final frames than he would like. And he probably has no idea what's going on because they're pretty far away from him, the guys that are striking behind him.
Oh,
and there aren't very many of them who can catch him.
I don't know if the scores are the scores that are on the scoreboard updated through 5 games or through 4.
They just updated it through Game 5. So if he is looking at the scoreboard, he's getting his first look at it. And I don't see him looking up there yet. He's getting ready to bowl here. And he may not be a scoreboard watcher. It looks like the scores that we've got, that we've been reporting, seem to be pretty accurate based on what we're seeing on the scoreboard. Marcelo just went through the face and left a split. It is the 4-10 split. Things
Janowitz.
All of a sudden getting pretty interesting. What did JJ do?
Janowitz just struck again.
Front 6.
Off camera, but Janowitz struck again.
How about Andre Force?
He has not bowled yet. He will be up momentarily.
He's a little bit too far behind, I think, to play a role here. And I'm just crunching some numbers down here, Jason. I want to make sure that I've got things right as we head down the stretch.
It's like open for Swartz.
Yeah, Swartz with the open, 85 in the fifth, and now his max score, if he punches out, is only 235. And that would be enough.
Andre Force strikes again. Front six for him.
Daniel Falcone has slipped into the mix here at plus 146. I don't know what he is doing this game. It's still quite a ways back. It's 100 pins back of first, so.
So once again, if you're just joining us, this is Game 6, the final game of the singles competition, and it is total pinfall after this game that determines the medals, and all of a sudden we have an interesting race for the gold medal. Marcelo Schwartz of Brazil had a significant lead coming to this game, but made the turn from the low end to the high end of the house and has not been putting up the same kind of scores as he had been previously. And meanwhile, John Janowitz from Team USA is probably the only one with a realistic chance to catch him, I would say. Is that a fair statement, Lucas?
Sure seems like it. Because Force is about 30 pins behind JJ, so.
There's a look at Janowitz.
If they keep striking, then JJ obviously has the advantage. Daniel Falcone, 126 in the sixth. He's not going to be much of a factor here as far as the gold medal goes. It kind of looks like it's really Swartz and Janowitz is what I'm seeing. O'Neill is pretty much out of the medal picture at this stage. He can only shoot 216. Here's JJ. All 10 back for Janowitz. He's got the front seven. He's making a run. Trying to overcome a 70-plus pin deficit here against Swartz in this final game.
There's Schwartz on the approach.
Looks like he came up
light.
Yeah.
Looks like a single pin leave.
2-pin? Yeah, it looks like it's just a 2-pin. And that means that Marcelo, the ball is still in his court. If he goes spare and he strikes out, he shoots 225, and that would be enough to shut out Janowitz, even if Janowitz shot 300. That would be enough for the shutout by one, I believe. As for Puerto Rico, Israel Hernandez, 85 in the fifth, a spare in the sixth. Frankie Colon, 88 in the fourth, and a double. Just not striking enough so far. Colon still an opportunity to shoot a big game. He can still shoot 268. But he was at plus 130, and it might be tough for him to make up enough ground. It's really looking like John Janowitz is the one that has the legit shot to pass Swartz, but JJ has no margin for error. He's got to keep going.
There's a look at the scores coming into this final game.
JJ's about to go. He's next up on that pair, the front seven. John Janowitz up on the approach now, lane 46, has the front seven. His left foot standing at about 15 board. Let's see where he's playing here. The ball's going about 7-2, and he strikes again. Double J with the strike in the eighth.
Force from Mexico, also perfect here in this 6th game. He's about to step up for the 7th frame shot on the right lane. Here it is. 10-pin goes down, 7 in a row.
And remember that Forrest comes in at plus 143, so his max out is 243 over.
Here goes Marcelo again. That looks like a strike.
Yeah, I think so.
High fives around.
And again, Marcelo can shoot 225 if he strikes out. That would put him at plus 272. John Janowicz, if he shoots 300, can only shoot plus 271. So this is going to come down to the final few frames here. But really, all the pressure on Janowicz, because Janowicz can't afford to miss. And by the way, Frankie Colon opened in the 7th, as it doesn't look good for Puerto Rico here down the stretch. They still have a chance to medal, but they're going to need a strong finish. It's going to be really up for grabs as far as getting the bronze medal.
And Lucas, what frame was Schwartz in?
Marcelo, it looks like, just finished the 7th frame.
So he just struck in the 7th.
Yeah, correct. He has 3 frames to go. And essentially 5 strikes away from the gold medal. A lot of numbers to crunch out there. Always afraid that I might miss somebody who's shooting a big game, but feeling pretty good this block that we've got it right, Jason.
Well, we're doing the best we can. Everything unofficial, of course. So we've got quite a few lanes separating the 3 bowlers that we're watching, so Lucas and I will try to keep everyone up to date on what's happening. It looks like that Forrest will be the next to bowl of the 3 that we're watching. Left lane, once again, he has the front 7.
Oh, look at that. Gets the fall.
Fortunate carry.
Janowicz up now. Front 8, really a must-strike situation if he wants to stay in the hunt for the gold. 9th frame, JJ steps up. It's going to be a little right. Oh, it gets the 10 out. Wow. 9 in a row for John Janowicz.
It's like he has ice water in his veins right now, Lucas.
That was pretty good. It was a little right. I wasn't quite sure it was going to get the 10 out, but he did get the 10 out, and it did strike. He's got the front 9. And so, he's going to finish before Marcelo does. If Marcelo steps up in the 8th frame here and does not strike, John Janowicz can shut him out. This has gotten very, very close.
And it's likely that, do you think, Lucas, that either player knows what's going on, or is it just those of us watching on Bowl TV that know what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know that they know. I mean, they're separated by about 20 lanes, and I'm not sure that Marcelo has any idea what's going on down there.
I'm not seeing anyone from the coaching staff running back to keep an eye on scores either, so.
Yeah, I mean, Team USA knows what's going on. I don't know that JJ knows. I don't think they've told him, but I told Kim Terrell-Kearney the situation, so she's aware. But I don't think JJ wants to know. I think he just wants to keep throwing strikes. Here's Marcelo. He is up now in the 8th, looking for the double. And he went high and left a 4-pin. So the ball is no longer in Marcelo's court. It is in John Janowitz's court. Now Marcelo's max score with a spare, 205. So John Janowicz is going to have a chance to jump him. And with Marcelo struggling, it may come down to a situation where John Janowicz may not even need to shoot the 300 to jump ahead of him.
Now is Janowicz coming up in the 10th?
He's coming up in the 10th in just a moment. I'm going to crunch some numbers here real quick.
Schwartz converts the spare. What a story this could be. John Janowitz potentially to throw a 300 game in the 6th and final game of the singles competition to win the gold medal.
And if my math is correct, Jason, John Janowitz needs the first strike in the 10th frame to move ahead of Marcelo Schwartz. John Janowitz needs 282 this game to move ahead of him, and if John strikes on his next shot, he will be in the 280s.
Well, and Matt Lawson is down there with a great shot, so there's going to be terrific highlights to see of this later. We have a little bit of an angle, but this is a huge shot right here for John Janowitz and Team USA.
It's looking like it could be a gold medal for JJ if he can deliver a strike. He's shaking a little bit, Jason. It's in. It got in a little bit. He left a 2-pin. He pulled it a little bit. So 279. Marcelo is still going to have some work to do. Marcelo is going to have to throw the next 3 strikes, I believe,
Take
to
a
get
look
there.
at the 9th frame for Force. He remains perfect.
Yeah, but Force can only get to 243 over if he strikes out and shoots 300. JJ has already surpassed that, I believe. I'm going to have to do the numbers, though, and see. JJ is going to shoot 279 this game. And that would put him at plus 250. And Schwartz is going to need, I believe, strikes in the 9th, 10th, and 11th, and a 9 count on the fill to pass Janowitz.
Wow.
That's what it's looking like. I can't promise you my math is right. There's a lot of dynamics here. There's a lot going on. There are a lot of people bowling. That's what I'm seeing, though, just between these players. Marcelo Schwartz is up now in the 9th. Must-strike situation to get ahead of Janowitz. And he does it. He gets it.
Looks like Janowitz left a 10-pin in his fill shot.
Okay, so that means that with the 9 on the fill for Janowitz, that Marcelo needs a double and 8 now. Double 8 in the 10th. That would put Marcelo at 250. John Janowitz finishes at 249. Yeah, if Marcelo goes double 8 in the 10th, he would shoot 203. Double 8 in the 10th, 203. That would give him 250 over, and that would pass Janowitz by 1. Patrick Allen walks down and instantly says he needs a double. So PA's down here doing the math. He knows what's going on.
It looks like Mr. Lawson is in position down there.
Yep. It's going to be a moment before Marcelo's up.
All
Andre
right.
Force up. Jason with the front 9. I think that he could get into bronze contention here and potentially silver if Marcelo doesn't finish strong. Front 9 for Andre. This is pretty good. Yeah, leaves the 10. Almost leaves the 10, but gets the strike. And that'll put him in the 280s. Just so many numbers to crunch here, Jason. And I'm feeling pretty good, though, about where we're at as far as the Marcelo Schwartz, John Janowitz situation. So I'm just kind of crossing people off my list as I walk around, and I really don't see anybody else who has a legit shot.
Are you assuming that Marcelo knows what he needs?
I do not believe he knows. I know that the players, the people watching him know because I just gave them the update, but I'm not sure that Marcelo knows. I mean, he's got to think that he needs it because he's not bowling a great game. I'm right behind him right now. He's up in the 10th. Has to double and get 8 for the gold. Ring 10. Marcelo leaves a ring 10 on a great shot, and it looks like John Janowitz is going to win it. What a come-from-behind effort by Double J. Wow. So Marcelo now only at 185 this game, and he's going to drop to 232 over, and that means Andre Force, if he finishes off the 300 here, I think he's going to get the silver. Yeah, if Andre's big finish here looks like it's going to get him the silver.
This has been just an unbelievable finish to the singles event here at the PABCON Championships. What drama. Now everyone gathers to see what Andre Force can do.
One shot away from a perfect game. I believe that he already has the silver locked up. Everybody gathered behind him. Can he make it 300? It's pretty good. Oh, and the 10 stays up, 299. But I tell you what, he's going to take home a little hardware anyway. What a finish here to the men's singles. And this is just the first event, folks. We've got a whole week of this coming up. I don't know if my heart can take it.
Wow, wow.
Can't believe it. Marcelo finished at 181. That'll put him at plus 231. So my math has it Janowitz plus 249, Force plus 242, and Swartz plus 231. That's what we've got right now. Now, if it's possible somebody else could have jumped up in there, but I don't think so, Jason. I think that's where we're gonna be.
A lot of hugs over there for John Janowitz.
Let's see if I can get JJ to talk for a minute.
Yeah, if you get over there to get him, Lucas, keep in mind to have the player have him face us so we can see him talking to his back.
Let me see if I can get him. He's being mobbed by fans and his teammates.
Well, we hope that you will join us on Bowl TV for competition throughout the week, as you've seen just how exciting things can get at the PABCON Championships. We will have coverage every day up until the event ends on Saturday. Boy, what drama here. There will be a highlight package that Matt Lawson will have up later today. Lucas looking to go and see if he can get a hold of JJ. It looks like Lucas has him.
John Janowitz, congratulations.
Thank you.
What a last game comeback. You knew you needed a big last game. What was the mindset going into that final game, and what does it feel like to deliver in the clutch?
Oh, I tell you, it's a great feeling. I knew I had to shoot a big game. My ball reaction was getting kind of bad, and I just figured I need to do something. And I figure, I tried a resin ball and the fill ball, but I thought to myself, I need to just stick with what got me here. So I went with a little more grip pressure. I tried to soften the ball speed just a little bit more, just so I can get it to go through the pins the right way. And I kind of knew after the first two shots that I threw, I knew that was the right look. It was just a matter of just getting out of my own way from there. So,
what does it feel like to bring home the gold for Team USA?
I tell you what, it's an unbelievable feeling. It's so great to be able to represent Team USA and be in the have five guys like this to be such other great players to be behind me. And when you look back and you see those guys behind you, it's like it loosens you up because it's like they've got your back, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah, congratulations again, and you have been to so many international tournaments, and you've had a lot of success over the years. Where does this one rank for you in terms of career wins? I know you've won some medals in PABCON before, but this one feels pretty sweet, I would bet, given the come-from-behind win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When you shoot the big game, the last game, to come from behind, that really does make it very special. And it was really kind of cool because I actually won the gold singles in Guatemala in 2007. That was the last time I bowled in the American Zone Championship, so it was pretty cool to be able to to win it again and get another gold medal for Team USA, most importantly.
And you know Marcelo Swartz very well, and Marcelo drops to bronze medal. He made the turn from the low end of the bowling center to the high end of the bowling center and seemed to struggle, only shot 181. Do you see that turn as kind of having an impact on what happened to him? Is there a little bit of a transition between the high end and the low end here at Sunset Station?
Yeah, definitely. I felt that the high end was definitely tighter, and it was tighter down the lane. And he obviously got a lot of his pins going in this direction. So then when he came and made the turn, obviously it was a little bit different, especially now with so many guys throwing resin balls. I mean, urethane balls that they plowed so much oil down the lane, and I could see with that end kind of being tighter a little bit to begin with, it kind of magnified that, and I can kind of see where he could have maybe gotten a little bit of jail. But I mean, he bowled great though the whole time. I mean, it's one of those unfortunate things that happens. But we've all been there at one point in time. But like I said, I'm just very, very happy to be able to win a gold for Team USA though, most importantly.
And John, how does this set the tone for Team USA for the rest of the week, getting off to a good start with the gold medal? What's going to be the mindset going into tomorrow with the doubles event?
It's going to be a lot of the same thing. I mean, obviously now with the London pattern, it's a completely different strategy. And especially for me with throwing urethane. Now I'm back to throwing the regular stuff again. Now playing a completely different zone of the lane. So like I said, it's going to be a lot of same mindset though. I mean, you still continue to work. As long as if I continue to communicate with the coaches, we all communicate with each other. We're going to be all right.
Thanks, John Janowitz, gold medalist in the PABCON men's singles. Go celebrate with a cupcake.
I think there are definitely some desserts that are definitely going to be in order. I might even have some. I'll definitely have some for you tomorrow, Lucas.
Thanks, JJ. Congratulations on the win, and also congratulations to Andre Force, who looks like he took the silver for Mexico, and Marcelo Swartz, who we believe won the bronze for Brazil. I think that's going to about wrap things up. There is no medal ceremony here this evening. They have postponed it. It will take place between the doubles events tomorrow, and so we will have live coverage for you of the medal ceremony tomorrow at about 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. But that's all for now, Jason. I guess we'll wrap things up, and hope everybody tunes in tomorrow morning. The doubles event will get underway at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and if it's anything like what we saw today, it will be very, very exciting tomorrow as well. We'll have coverage for you the rest of the week. Bowl.com/livestream for the full schedule here at the PABCON Championships. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you tomorrow morning here on Bowl TV. Have a good evening, everybody.